Hear the words of the Ancient One. Fang Bing looked at the Sorcerer Supreme with a strange look. He nodded silently. Pull out the tray and start making various snacks at high speed. Soon. A whole bunch of treats are made. Is it enough? Fang Bing asked. Ancient One nodded expressionlessly. Thanks. Wave your hands and put away the snacks. With a swipe of his finger, a portal opened. As if there was an emergency. Drilled in and left. The boss is indeed a boss, from putting away the snacks to the disappearance of the portal. Ancient One only took a second. Left with his mouth open. I was just about to ask if I could let Sky, Fang Bing, who went to Kamar Taj to learn magic. If I knew it earlier, I should have asked questions first, and then given her snacks. Fang Bing sighed. From the words of Ancient One, a brutal truth has been discovered. This Ancient One is no serious person. Selfish glutton. As Sorcerer Supreme, but he loves to eat scum who eat alone. Originally, Fang Bing was still wondering, why gave Ancient One so many snacks more than 2 months ago? I haven't gotten any Kamar Taj magician's ability until now. Until today, but he heard Ancient One say. The magicians of Kamar Taj love to eat their own snacks. I love to eat a ghost. I'm afraid they haven't even seen a melon seed of their own. And you, Sorcerer Supreme, are out of luck. Wrap up all the snacks. He didn't even draw out another ability, next to Sky. Seeing that Ancient One left directly, there is no disappointment in my heart. On the contrary, he was inexplicably relieved. She wants to become stronger. Protect yourself, protect your family. Don't drag Fang Bing anymore, but he never thought of leaving Fang Bing's side. Go learn some magic by yourself. Fang Bing told her before that he recommended her to learn magic from a magician. She just thought Fang Bing was teasing her, never seriously. And when the Ancient One magician really appeared just now, only then did she understand from the anxiety in her heart. Own true thoughts. So at this moment I saw that Ancient One left. He just asked Fang Bing curiously, why is this magician leaving in such a hurry? He is Sorcerer Supreme, and he must be very busy protecting the earth. The other side, Kamar Taj. Ancient One walked out of the portal. Go back to your quiet room. Patted the chest. Exhaled. There is a feeling of guilty conscience in my heart. Although she thinks it is impossible for Fang Bing to know about her eating alone. But when she found out, Fang Bing listened to her lie. That strange look at her, just realized. Although I don't know why, but he may have been exposed. So I hurriedly put away the snacks and left. I'm afraid to stay too long. The lie was exposed by Fang Bing. Really like that. What is the face of my Sorcerer Supreme? How can I be so kind in the future? In the name of other magicians of Kamar Taj, go to him for a snack? He boasted of his wit in his heart. He picked up a bag of melon seeds and knocked them leisurely. The three of Fang Bing finished the barbecue. It's time to part. Fang Bing directly opened a portal to Captain America. One arrives directly at the helicarrier, the portal that opens around Nick Fury. The air tickets booked by Fang Bing and Sky are for today. I'm about to board the plane later. As for why, do not directly open the portal to go back, because there are only entry records. No exit record will be directly blacklisted by the country of Iceland as a black household. Don't even think about coming here through formal channels in the future. Fang Bing plans to bring Aunt May's little Peter to play in the future. There is nothing urgent. I chose to fly back slowly. At the airport, after inspection and clearance, the two were waiting to board the plane. The mechanical sound of the system in Fang Bing's mind rang unexpectedly. Congratulations, you have obtained Meditation Solution LV10. Fang Bing refreshed himself. Immediately checked the system records. Whoa, it turned out to be obtained from Ancient One? Fang Bing immediately felt extremely sorry in his heart. I feel that I have wronged a good person. Sorcerer Supreme is the one with the best intentions. She must be afraid that those weak chicken magicians in Kamar Taj have too low taste. Spoiled their food. That's why I tasted it all by myself. It must be so. After Fang Bing re-established a glorious image for Sorcerer Supreme in his heart. Start looking at this max level ability you got from the Ancient One boss. Meditation Solution LV10. You have fully mastered all the essentials of meditation. Persistence in meditation can increase your mental power and spell energy. After understanding what kind of ability meditation is, Fang Bing couldn't help being overjoyed. In short, I have just acquired this meditation. It is the basis for the Kamar Taj magicians to practice magic. One with magical ability. After entering Kamar Taj, the first thing to do is to learn the meditation solution. Meditation is the basis for casting all spells. Can increase the magical energy in the body. It can also improve your mental strength. The strength of the magical energy in the body determines the strength of the spell released by the magician. Mental power determines the magician's ability to control spells. For example, the portal, mentally weak, release may take 2 seconds. And those with strong mental power can cast it instantly. Fang Bing only had one portal before, does not know any other spells. There is no spell energy in the body. Now get the ability to meditate. You can practice magic energy by yourself and improve your mental power. This means, from then on, he can embark on the road of a serious magician. Even if you can no longer draw suitable spells in the future. There is also a system independent of the system. The same way can continue to become stronger. All roads lead to Rome. Who would dislike having too many means? Not to mention, the meditation solution I got. It also solved another of his current problems. That is, as long as Sky has the spell ability. Then I can really start teaching her magic, on the spaceship. Nick Fury is using the toilet in the bathroom. Suddenly an orange portal appeared beside him. Terrified, peed on pants. Turn your head away. Look at Captain America just coming out of the portal. Water fake? Fang Bing sent you here? Captain America grinned. Mouth full of alcohol. Yeah, Fang Bing is a good guy. Not only did he buy me a drink, but he also changed a shield for me. But that's not what Nick Fury cares about the most. What he cares about is, Fang Bing could directly open the portal to him. And drove directly to the space carrier at an altitude of 10,000 meters? Doesn't that mean, the whole shield is for him to come and go? Just leave if you want? Thinking of this, he couldn't help but rejoice, my own wise decision before. Fortunately, Fang Bing was not offended, otherwise, it will be troublesome. Nick Fury's expression turned serious. Started to ask carefully about Captain America's previous experience. After listening, when he saw Captain America's new shield, I couldn't help being surprised. It turned out to be vibranium? Also use more material than Captain America's previous shield? After learning that Fang Bing cannot transform back into a Quinjet fighter. He hadn't thought about it at all. Fang Bing can conjure a vibranium shield that is rarer than a Quinjet. But now Captain America's shield let him know that he underestimated Fang Bing's ability. I also realized my own omissions, with the help of Fang Bing. A large amount of vibranium can be obtained. Wouldn't Dolly be able to research vibranium technology? Make SHIELD's power increase rapidly? Thinking of this, he couldn't wait any longer. Picking up the communicator, he dialed Fang Bing's number. For this reason, he is already mentally prepared and can meet any condition of Fang Bing. But he was quickly disappointed, because Fang Bing's phone couldn't get through. Always off. I found out after using SHIELD's intelligence system to inquire. Fang Bing is still on the flight back to New York. The phone has no signal, until a few hours later. When Fang Bing and Sky arrived in New York, Nick Fury finally dialed Fang Bing's cell phone. You want a lot of vibranium? I'll give you the terms? Fang Bing twitched the corner of his mouth. I know the business is coming. Yes, for every 10 cubic meters of vibranium, exchange for one thing. Fang Bing knows, SHIELD has a lot of good stuff. Since its establishment during World War II, I don't know how many strange objects have been collected in half a century. There is no cost to convert vibranium yourself anyway. In exchange for something useful, not bad at all. Nick Fury heard a joke. 10 cubic meters of vibranium is a lot. You must know that SHIELD has accumulated more than half a century. Current vibranium reserves, there is only about 1 cubic meter left. What do you want? 70 years ago, Peggy Carter got an obelisk from Red Skull. Is it in your hands? Nick Fury listened. My heart trembled suddenly. Obelisk? That thing is extremely dangerous. How did Fang Bing know about this? Peggy Carter was Captain America's girlfriend. Also one of the founders of SHIELD when Peggy Carter wiped out Hydra. After getting the obelisk treasured by Hydra. Just save it. And its storage location, it is top secret information that can only be known with the highest authority. Originally Nick Fury dared to agree to Fang Bing's conditions. It is impossible to know what he has in his hand because of Fang Bing. I thought he was asking for some valuables at most. But did not expect, when the other party came up, Wang Za came out. Ask yourself for an obelisk, An alien threat that must never be handed over. Yes, although he has not known the function of the obelisk for so many years. I only know whoever touches that thing will die. But after some means of testing, the material that made up the obelisk had long been discovered. Totally off Earth. This means, this dangerous item. It's an alien threat. Although I don't know, how did you know it exists? But this item is too dangerous to give to you. Change parts. Nick. Fury said seriously. Then I want Howard. Stark fished out of the Arctic Sea, the little cube glowing blue. When the bald director heard this, his expression changed drastically. Waterfake. Stop, stop, stop. Forget it. Impossible. Even give me a vibranium the size of the Himalayas. No wonder Nick. Fury reacted so strongly, because he heard Fang Bing's description. I knew that what Fang Bing wanted was Tesseract. Although the bald director still doesn't know that Tesseract is one of the 6 gems of the universe, the space gem. But he knows how powerful Tesseract is. During World War II, Hydra used it to create energy weapons. Red Skull was wiped out by it. It was later used by the Kree to develop the light element engine. Directly created Nick. Fury's dream man, the one that can fly into the sky. Captain Marvel who blew up the entire Kree space fleet with his bare hands. In the heart of Nick. Fury. If the importance of the alien obelisk is 5. Then the importance of Tesseract is 100. This thing can be said to be the biggest secret of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hearing that the bald chief refused again, Fang Bing pouted. This doesn't work, that doesn't work, so what's the deal, goodbye. After speaking, he hung up the phone directly. Then just wait for Nick. Fury to call again, because he knows. Nick. Fury, S.H.I.E.L.D. director, it is impossible to pass up the temptation to acquire a large amount of vibranium at once. Really, 2 minutes passed. Nick. Fury called again. How are you thinking? Can you give me the Tesseract? I can give you enough vibranium to sink the helicarrier. Fang Bing said with seductive words. No, Tesseract will never be possible. Although Nick. Fury was very greedy, he still firmly refused. But the obelisk can think again. I can give you the obelisk, but first you have to tell me, what are you going to use it for? After some haggling. Nick. Fury finally let go. But it is still required to know what Fang Bing is doing with this alien object. As S.H.I.E.L.D. director, though he needs vibranium. But his first priority is to keep ordinary people safe. So even if you want to exchange the obelisk to Fang Bing, he also has to figure it out in advance. Will this thing threaten human beings in the hands of Fang Bing? Fang Bing was helpless. If it wasn't for quickly allowing Sky to obtain the ability that originally belonged to her. He was too lazy to argue with this one-eyed brat here. But I can only bear my temper, pick the part that can be said. Probably talk to Nick Fury, the history of the obelisk. And what it does. What? You mean this thing comes from the Kree? It can also activate the super ability in the human body. Nick. Fury was shocked, immediately warmed up. Suddenly thought of the previous experiment of using serum to create super soldiers. Activate the agents with an obelisk. Are you still worried about the lack of manpower for your own Avengers? Is there something wrong with your ears? I have said that only the Inhumans can do it, and it is not the Inhumans who will die if they use the obelisk. Fang Bing heard Nick Fury's tone, just know what he wants to do. Re-emphasizing the limitations of the obelisk completely shattered Nick Fury's illusions. Although pure Terrigen mist, it does no harm to ordinary humans. Only activates the super ability within the Inhuman. But the interior of the obelisk isn't pure Terrigen mists. It was also adulterated with other substances by the Kree. Ordinary people touch a trace, it's dead. Only people with alien genes, only then can he obtain super ability safely and soundly. And the alien metal on the outside of the obelisk. It also contains substances that are also harmful to humans. So ordinary people cannot touch the obelisk. Otherwise, the whole body will be petrified. And there are very few people in the world who carry alien genes. Unless Nick Fury can get pure Terrigen mist. Dare to use it on a large scale for humans, otherwise, he cannot get what he wants. Then where can I find the Inhumans? Steve said that he saw another magician at your place, can you introduce him? You have too many questions. If you want to know other answers, you will have to charge an additional consultation fee. Fang Bing interrupted Nick Fury's chatter. He politely rejected his other questions. But the deal was eventually done. Went to the space carrier in Fang Bing. After turning the 10 cubic bricks prepared by Nick fury into vibranium. He managed to get the box containing the obelisk. Then he left behind the bald chief who was still trying to inquire about the intelligence with a questioning expression on his face. Leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. and going home. What is this? Sky looked at the obelisk in the box and asked curiously. Fang Bing smiled mysteriously. You pick it up. Sky obediently reached out and held it. The obelisk originally made of silver-white metal. In an instant, mysterious luminous lines began to appear on the surface. Wow! What is this? A sensor-led light. Sky found it very interesting to play with. This is something that allows you to have super abilities, Fang Bing said with a smile. But not yet, we still need to go somewhere. Fang Bing did not explain to Sky in too much detail. Because that would involve her life experience. Just tell her after resting at home for 2 days. Sky needs to go with him to Old San Juan. The outside of this obelisk is a layer of noxious metal. Only to the Kree temple underground in Old San Juan. To pass through the facilities there, unleash the Terrigen mists within the metal. Although Fang Bing has the material conversion ability, simply touching the obelisk will convert its outer metal into a harmless substance. But he dared not take the risk, because he didn't know whether he would touch the obelisk at the moment. Was petrified into statues, even with a super physique. It shouldn't be a big problem, but now there are obviously other ways to solve it safely. Why would you take that risk yourself? Oh, that's it. When Sky heard that it was not enough, lost spirit again. Just got back from Iceland, tired of traveling. She was going to catch up on sleep again. Then he stuffed the obelisk back into Fang Bing's hand. Damn it. Fang Bing didn't guard against her at all. It was only when Sky stuffed this thing into his hand accidentally that he realized it. He shook his hand and threw it out. You want to kill me? Fang Bing shouted at the innocent Sky. After discovering the palm that just touched the obelisk. After there was no sign of petrification, I was relieved. Fortunately, my brother's body is strong enough. Wrong. Fang Bing suddenly remembered vaguely. When I just threw the obelisk out, that thing seems to be glowing. F*K? No way? Command Sky to pick up the obelisk on the ground. Put it back on the table, Fang Bing began to try cautiously. He touched the obelisk first with his finger. I found out that I was fine. Only then did I grasp it. Really, the obelisk also instantly lit up with glowing lines. Fang Bing was shocked. He knows what it means. This means, Fang Bing. There are also alien genes in the body. Super ability can also be inspired by Terrigen Mist. F*K, it was just a pleasant surprise. Fang Bing didn't expect it at all. Because when reading the Sky ability list before, he can see Sky has the inactive vibe ability on him. So when he is in his own system interface, didn't see any unactivated super abilities. I have long subconsciously thought that I am not a stranger. Now that I think about it, this dog system is completely lazy. All the abilities that I originally knew are not displayed. What is displayed on the system panel is only the ability that I have drawn from others. Knowing that I am also a stranger, you can also activate your own ability by Terrigen Mist. Fang Bing couldn't calm down anymore. He pulled Sky, who was about to go back to sleep. With an obelisk. Opened the portal with one hand. Left home. In a blink of an eye, I came to the barren hills I had been to before. I came here because I was afraid that when the awakening ability of 2 people will be met. What unusual movement will it cause? Although Aunt May and little Peter took the holiday, they went out to play the first 2 days and haven't come back yet. But Fang Bing still doesn't know what his ability is. In case of awakening something self-destruct ability. Come up and blow up the house, it's troublesome. When Fang Bing found out that he was also an alien. I know that I don't have to go to the underground of San Juan to find the Kree temple. Since the obelisk can't hurt me, his material conversion ability can directly destroy the metal on the outside of the obelisk. Causes the Terrigen mists within it to emanate. What are we doing here? Sky asked confusedly. I thought of a way, and now I can get you a super ability. Really? But you just said that. Fang Bing gave her a blank look. Pull her to the side of a boulder. Take out the obelisk and place it on the stone. Reach out to activate the substance conversion ability. But a trace of hesitation suddenly flashed in his heart. I don't know if I should activate the ability with Sky. Because of the superhuman abilities of the alien race. Sometimes it's not a gift, it could also be a curse. The inhuman king of the moon, Black Bolt. You can destroy a city just by opening your mouth. But the price is, he couldn't speak normally. When I was a child, I only argued with my parents in anger. He sent his own parents, that is, the previous inhuman king and queen. The explosion turned into blood mist. Jiaying's loyal paparazzi, Gordon. Able to travel infinitely through space, but the price is to lose his eyes forever. Fang Bing is at hesitation. What if he also obtained a defective ability? Is it worth the risk? But soon, he was relieved. Since there is an opportunity to become stronger, why still hesitate? Inhuman awakening ability. Most of them have no side effects. He didn't believe that his luck would be so bad. After making up my mind, he directly launched the material conversion. Turned the obelisk's outer metal into a slime. Slap down, laugh. A transparent mist of gas centered on the boulder. Attacking in all directions, when the Terrigen mist touches the two. A layer of stone shell began to spread over the two of them. Sky didn't know what happened. He looked at Fang Bing in horror. Want to ask him for help? Don't be afraid. Fang Bing smiled and held her hand. Sky and Fang Bing are quickly turned into two statues. After a few minutes, the stone shell surrounding the two of them began to crumble and peel off. The two end the Inhuman's super ability awakening process. The whole mountain began to tremble. The rocks collapsed. The trees swayed. It was like an earthquake. Fang Bing hurried forward and hugged Sky. Don't be afraid, calm down, this is your ability. Sky slowly came back to his senses. Feel the solid chest surrounding you. I feel safe again. The vibration of the mountains under his feet stopped. What's wrong with me? Sky asked softly in Fang Bing's arms. Fang Bing rubbed her head. Your ability is to create vibes. When you can't control your ability will also lose control with your emotions. That's why the earthquake is caused. Don't be afraid, with me by your side. Baby Sky is so smart, he will be able to control this ability soon. Sky heard Fang Bing's address. She buried her head in Fang Bing's arms shyly, but her hands hugged a little tighter. After Fang Bing comforted Sky, but a little surprised. Because he doesn't know what ability he is awakening yet. As soon as Sky came out of the stone shell, he caused an earthquake. Nothing unusual happened to him. Don't you have the awakening ability? That's impossible. Must have been awakening. Otherwise, I can't get out of the stone shell. Fang Bing asked Sky to slowly practice his abilities in the open space. He stood by the way, I started to constantly test what awakening ability I was. Until an hour later, Sky is tired from practice. Excitedly ran to his side. I want to share my super ability practice experience with him. Fang Bing just got from a wounded little rabbit. Got the answer. It turns out that his new super ability is healing? To test ability, he caught a black bear in the forest. Slashed his hind leg with a dagger turned from a branch. Stay 3 meters away, ability is activated. But found no effect, until within 1 meter of the wound. Only then did I feel a special energy in my hand transmitted to the wound. The wound on the black bear's leg began to heal rapidly. The healing effect is very powerful, but something happened that Fang Bing didn't expect. This one was originally cut because of the hind leg. The bear howling in pain, from being treated. Sudden cry of pain ceased, there was an inexplicable look on Shang's face. As if being stimulated by something, his whole body twitched. Until Fang Bing saw that it was not normal in some places. Only then did I realize that this super ability of my own seems a bit dishonest. While treating others, it seems that there are some special side effects. He quickly opened the portal and kicked the male bear in. Sky is by my side. Fang Bing didn't want her to see the bear like that. But he's still a little unsure whether this healing ability works on humans. This particular side effect, will it work on people too? He looked at the girl who was obediently staying aside. Sky, are you hurt anywhere? Fang Bing failed to heal Sky in the end, because Sky was scared away by his smirk. For experimentation, he had to switch to a broken vibranium dagger. He pierced his arm with all his strength, used the healing ability on himself. What? A feeling of extreme comfort burst out involuntarily. Let the defenseless Fang Bing shout out. He was so scared that he immediately covered his mouth. I was afraid that Sky would hear and misunderstand something. What a shame ability. I had this ability in my previous life. What movie are you watching? If you want to feel good, just give yourself a few shots. I looked at the arm that had recovered to its original state. Fang Bing doesn't know how to evaluate this ability. Strong is very strong. The healing ability is a very rare and powerful ability. The entire Marvel universe has not many people. Especially when it comes to treating others. Even rarer. Fang Bing knows that can do this. Only the female captain of the 10-man team of the Eternal Race on Earth, Ajax. But Ajax's healing ability does not have its own special side effects. Fang Bing doesn't know how to compare with Ajax, whose ability is stronger, but he knows his own ability must be even more coquettish. Fang Bing continued to test, although the wound has healed. But he still hit himself again. Really, there is no way to trigger that side effect without a wound. Otherwise Fang Bing felt that he would be invincible. No matter who you fight with, he was treated non-stop when we met. When he was so excited that he twitched, he chopped it off again. That picture is very beautiful to think about. Although it only works on the wounded, but also very powerful. If there is no injury, we can injure him. It's just that Fang Bing felt that this was poisonous milk. What should I do if I am injured in a battle? Take a sip of milk yourself, and then hang yourself up? Fang Bing thought for a long time but couldn't come up with a solution. Maybe I can only scratch myself a few times if I have nothing to do. Experience this feeling more. Build up some tolerance in advance. It seems that self-enhancement alone is not enough. With Sky's super ability, it's impossible to use it for a lifetime, right? Participating in the battle will inevitably be injured, right? You have to heal her if you get hurt, right? It seems that she has to improve her tolerance in advance. After pondering your ability, Fang Bing began to seriously think of ways to help Sky master her vibe power as soon as possible. He pitched his tent in the woods. Prepare to stay here until Sky has full control over his ability. Otherwise, if we go back now, Sky accidentally caused an earthquake in the city, that's a big deal. Even if no one finds out, she who has always been kind will also feel guilty. Abilities become more proficient the more they are used. So as long as Sky keeps practicing, he can gradually become proficient. But Fang Bing was wondering if there was a way. Improve this efficiency, or increase the strength of inhuman super ability. Then it occurred to him, just got a meditation solution from Ancient One myself. Since meditation can improve magical energy and spiritual power. Among them, mental power can improve the release speed and control effect of spells. After improving the spiritual power through meditation, can it also work on myself and Sky's abilities? Thinking of this, he began to meditate for the first time after obtaining the meditation solution. Since his meditation solutions were obtained directly from Ancient One, so it is directly the strongest grade, Fang Bing quickly entered a state of meditation. He felt that his mind had entered an empty state. It seems to be in the vast universe. Start to slowly absorb some kind of energy in the universe. As he meditates, he felt that his soul had become a little bit stronger. Somewhere in the body, there is also a little bit of special energy. After an hour, he woke up on his own initiative. Comfortable. Fang Bing has only one feeling about meditation. The process of meditation, the feeling of letting go is so comfortable. Make him unwilling to leave that state. Finally, I realized that it was getting dark. It just stopped by itself. Really, I have magical ability. This was Fang Bing's second thought after he stopped meditating. Otherwise, it is also impossible for him to enter a meditative state. Then, he also found that this Ancient One meditation solution. Magical energy absorbed during meditation, in fact, it is cosmic energy. And the strength of one's material conversion ability also depends on this cosmic energy. He then tried the substance transformation ability. Sure enough, I found that this ability has become a little bit stronger. Although the increase is almost too small to be noticed, it is only a drop in the bucket. But Fang Bing knows, this is because I just practiced. As long as he sticks to it, this process of becoming stronger will not have an upper limit. I can finally be like Circe of the Eternals, reach the level of killing the gods. This is an ability with almost no upper limit. As for the enhancement of abilities by meditation, because Fang Bing's own abilities are too special, so he didn't have time to test it, but there is a ready-made experimental subject next to it. Sky, come here. Sky, who squatted opposite Fang Bing and waited until dark, found that Fang Bing has not been normal today. Not making strange noises, just doing weird things. At the moment I saw Fang Bing and finally took care of her. Can't help but ask. Fang Bing, you were surrounded by stone shells with me just now. What ability did you get? Sky hit the nail on the head with one sentence. Fang Bing, who asked, was caught off guard. But after thinking about it, I will give her special training to improve her endurance. So he told her the truth. What I got is the ability to treat but there are some harmless side effects. For this side effect, I will give you special training in the future, and you will know it by then. In order not to let Sky suspect, so that when the time comes suddenly too exciting. Fang Bing also informed in advance that Sky had been vaccinated. Sure enough, Sky didn't react when he heard this, he just let out a wow. Come on. Haven't you always wanted to learn magic? Now I can teach you. I can create earthquakes, isn't that magic? Sky obviously didn't know the difference between magic and super ability. Thinking you just got the vibe power as magic. What you have now is a kind of vibe energy, which is not considered magic, it can only be regarded as a super ability, but when you master it proficiently, it is no worse than magic. You can even fly. Fang Bing threw out a sentence that made Sky jump 3 feet high with excitement. He wasn't lying to Sky. Sky's vibe ability. After proficiency, it is indeed possible to release the vibe in the opposite direction. To propel her high into the air, even push air to last flight. But there is also a problem. Sky's body is too weak. The reaction force when releasing the vibe, it will also work on her. Hurt her bones. So if you want Sky to exert his power to destroy the world in the future, still need to try to improve her physique, even with the physique of Captain America. It is also enough to support her to use abilities as she likes. Fang Bing feels that he is against Sky now, it feels a bit like playing a growing game. Take her step by step to become stronger together. In fact, Fang Bing didn't really expect her to fight for him in the future. I just want her to have the ability to protect herself in this world. Don't just jump out of a little hooligan and kidnap her in the future. At that time, I have to cry and call to save her. And Sky now has super abilities too. It means that every time she eats the food she made herself, each has a 1% chance of drawing her vibe power. This can be regarded as a stable way to obtain flight ability. In the next few days, Fang Bing began to teach Sky meditation solutions. By the way, instruct her to familiarize herself with her vibe power. Sky is the heroine who can live 7 seasons in a row. Sure enough, the ability is extraordinary. Also has the spell ability. Quickly learn to meditate. As Fang Bing guessed. Meditate with her. With the gradual improvement of mental strength, Sky is also getting more and more proficient at controlling the vibe ability. This made Fang Bing even guess that the effect of cultivating spiritual power may be far more than that. Maybe it will play a bigger role in the future. It's just that he and Sky have just practiced for a few days now, and some effects can't be revealed yet. Fang Bing, I've been practicing this meditation for several days. When can I learn magic? Magic like a portal. Sky's meditation is only taught by Fang Bing. Instead of directly obtaining the meditation level of Ancient One magician like Fang Bing. So the meditation effect doesn't feel particularly comfortable like Fang Bing. On the contrary, it is a bit boring. So I persisted for a few days, and I couldn't stand it anymore. This is also the bottleneck for ordinary people to start practicing spells. But Fang Bing has no good way. With the weak spell energy in Sky's body now, it is impossible to cast any spells at all, so I can only draw big cakes for her. Tell her to keep going, and she can learn when she reaches the standard. In this way, another 3 days passed. Sky can basically control the vibe ability. At least it won't inadvertently create an earthquake. Fang Bing took Sky back to his home in New York City. On the second day of their return, Aunt May also brought little Peter home from a trip. Several people had a lively reunion dinner. Then Fang Bing received his university acceptance letter. Columbia University Department of Medicine, located in Manhattan, New York City. Fang Bing originally planned to take refuge in a remote university in another state. But since he got the system, he has changed his mind. Instead, he applied to a top university in New York. At that time, I chose the medical department because I thought, now that I have a system, I can no longer cling to it. It will hurt sooner or later. If you become a doctor yourself, you don't have to entrust your life to others. Although now he has the ability to heal, but I'm not ready to switch to another department. Because going to college has become an experience of life for him now. It doesn't matter what major you study for Fang Bing. Anyway, after graduating, I didn't plan to really go to work in the hospital 996. There is 1 more month of vacation. Just when Fang Bing thought he could lie on his back without any worries until school started. But an unexpected person came to the door. Hello, I'm Tony Stark. See Iron Man coming. Fang Bing hurried out the door. Riding on Aunt May and little Peter haven't found out yet. Pulled him away from his home. Don't go anymore. He was afraid that this guy would be in front of Aunt May and little Peter next. Let me say, I have admired the magician for a long time. Upon seeing Iron Man, Fang Bing knew that he must have known his true identity through S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just that I can't figure out what this technology genius who is nearly 40 years old is looking for me. Simply, I have no ill feeling towards Iron Man. After going out, he took him directly to a nearby bar. What do you want from me? Didn't Nick Fury tell you that S.H.I.E.L.D. can't disturb my life without special circumstances? After the two sat down, Fang Bing took a sip of beer and asked, "Are you old enough to drink? Not yet 21? Iron Man looked at the young magician in front of him. The first sentence turned out to be the same question as Captain America before. Fang Bing glanced at him speechlessly. Are all of you superheroes so nosy? After some nonsense, only then did Fang Bing understand what Iron Man came to the door for. I still owe you a favor regarding Iron Overlord. In order to repay this favor, you can make a request to me. After a long time, Iron Man turned out to come to pay back favors? But why is he so anxious to return favors? Fang Bing remembered that Iron Man would not have done such a thing in the first place. Unless he already knew that his life was not long. So, you are here this time to give me the Stark industry? After guessing why he was eager to repay the favor, Fang Bing couldn't help but joked. Iron Man was embarrassed. Although he thought he was about to die from palladium poisoning. He wanted to pay back the favor he owed before he died. But that favor owed to Fang Bing, obviously it's not worth it for him to hand over the Stark industry worth hundreds of billions. Moreover, Stark Industries is not his alone. But when Iron Man saw Fang's half-smile expression, also know that Fang Bing is joking, so he took the initiative to put forward a condition. Friend, how about I give you a set of the latest MK armor? Fang Bing shook his head. He didn't kill Iron Man to help Iron Man. And never expected Iron Man to reciprocate. But since people are so knowledgeable and willing to repay their kindness, they have to pay back their favors after catching up with them. He could only reluctantly accept it, but he didn't feel like Iron Man could come up with anything of value right now. Money? It's not a problem at all for Fang Bing now. Iron Man's tech armor. The version is still too low. Not much for Fang Bing. But in the future, Iron Man's black technology level will increase. He might need his help, and if Sky has been unable to improve his physique in the future. Instead, you can make a set of armor with a cushioning function for Sky. Also alleviates the side effects of Sky's vibe ability. As for now, Iron Man, the son of the half-plane of the Marvel Universe. It's really useless to me for the time being. But Fang Bing suddenly thought, now there is a chance to make Iron Man owe himself a second favor. Iron Man thought he was going to die, because when he was kidnapped by 10 rings and taken to Afghanistan. Into the heart by bomb shrapnel. That's why I put the arc reactor on the chest. Arc reactor has two functions, one is to power the iron armor. One is to suck the shrapnel in Iron Man's body. With arc reactor, Iron Man survived, and he didn't expect it then. The toxicity of the palladium element in the arc reactor will penetrate into the body. So after discovering this 2 days ago, he knew he was hopeless. Take out the arc reactor, shrapnel would go inside and he would die. Keep wearing the arc reactor, he would also die from palladium poisoning. So this seems to be an unsolvable problem for Iron Man now, and he feels that he is dead. But as the son of Half-Plane, he hasn't saved the Earth a few times yet, how could he die so quickly? Fang Bing knows, wait 2 days for Nick Fury to despair in Iron Man. He will tell him how to save his life, thereby reaping a big favor from Iron Man. But since Fang Bing already knew the future development, Iron Man took the initiative to send himself in front of him again. How could it be possible for the bald director to get his wish? Wouldn't it be nice to have Iron Man owe himself another favor? After all, Iron Man's black technology strength is notoriously amazing. And it will become more and more abnormal as time goes by. Maybe he will be useful sooner or later. Did you think you were dying? Fang Bing, who was sitting opposite Iron Man, asked suddenly. How did you know? Iron Man asked in a daze. He hasn't told anyone about it yet. Even her confidant, Little Pepper, is still hiding it. Oh, right. I almost forgot that the person opposite is a magician. Maybe he knows some kind of magic such as big prophecy? Then maybe he can save himself. I'm dying, it's palladium poisoning, can you save me? Iron Man looked at Fang Bing expectantly. He doesn't want to die either. As a former playboy, I know the beauty of living best. Have a chance to live on. How is it possible not to hold on tightly? If you can save my life, I can give you all my shares in Stark Industries. Iron Man saw that Fang Bing was silent, and continued to try to ask. Fang Bing saw that the fire was coming. Only then did you leisurely say, I can save you, and I don't want your shares. You just need to remember that you owe me a big favor. No stake in Stark Industries, it's because Stark Industries is actually worthless. Really useful for Fang Bing, it is Iron Man, a black technological genius who can be called the son of the plane. Iron Man stood up abruptly. He grasped Fang Bing's hand. He said excitedly, as long as I can continue to live, I owe you my life. What kind of experience is it to survive a desperate situation? Iron Man knows now. After he got excited. Fang Bing just told him about his father Howard Stark. There is news of a new element tucked inside the exposition map. And this new element is non-toxic, can replace palladium inside his arc reactor. After Iron Man heard the news, soon by recalling all the signs of the past, I basically confirmed in my heart that what Fang Bing said should be true. He can't wait. After saying hello to Fang Bing, anxious, he prepared to leave to find that life-saving element. After all, he knew his time was running out. Quickly walked out of the bar. Before he could walk out of the bar, a strange man walked up to him. The man was bare-chested, wearing only a set of simple exoskeleton armor. But he was waving a long electric whip in his hand. Walked towards the unarmored Iron Man, looking at the strange man holding an electric whip in front of him. He waved his hand and drew it towards himself. Iron Man hastily rolled over, barely dodged the fatal attack. But the tables and chairs in front of him were all cut in two by this whip. Iron Man came to find Fang Bing by car today. Not wearing armor. Because every time he uses the armor, he will be one step closer to death. Although I don't know the strange man in front of me. Why kill yourself? But Iron Man knows, without a battle armor, I couldn't deal with this weird person in front of me. And now only one person can save him. Help. Fang Bing had already noticed the arrival of the whip. Whiplock's father co-developed the original arc reactor with Iron Man's father. But then he was kicked out of the company because of his ambition. Die depressed. So is the whip of the sun. Will want to kill Iron Man to avenge his father. Whiplash possesses the original arc reactor technology. That's why he was able to develop this crude version of the exoskeleton armor on him. And the electric whip in his hand. That Fang Bing didn't stop him from attacking Iron Man in advance. Because of, this guy is not here to do his own thing. None of his business. Anyway, Iron Man can't die now. Forehead, shouldn't he die? Fang Bing was a little uncertain. Because he remembers that the original Whiplash seemed to be Iron Man attacking at the racetrack. But now the location has changed to a bar. It seems that this little butterfly of my own has already had a certain impact on the development of this world. Magician. Help. Iron Man is in a bar that is not spacious. After hiding several times, survived several times. Ask for help again. Fang Bing found himself seemingly unable to save Iron Man anymore. He really seemed to be unable to hold on. After all, Iron Man could subdue the whip with his bare hands. It depends on the right time and place on the racing track. In this bar. But there is no such condition. Never mind. Let's save him again. After all, he owed himself a life and hadn't paid it back. Let him die now, isn't it a big loss for yourself? Standing in the crowd at the corner of the bar. Fang Bing circled quietly with his fingers. A portal appeared in the ground at the foot of the whip. Whoosh. The whip rope fell through the portal. It fell directly into the crater on the other side of the portal. Because the crude exoskeleton he was wearing had no flight ability at all. So there is no struggle, he fell directly into the tumbling magma. Ashes to ashes. Iron Man saw that the whip was dead. Then he lay on the ground gasping for breath. The feeling of narrow escape came to my heart again. Knowing that he owed Fang Bing another life. But anyway, if there are too many lice, the head will not itch. A few lives owed didn't make much difference. Turned his head, it was found that Fang Bing had disappeared. I just drove away. Go find the life-saving new element that Fang Bing told him about. The other side, Fang Bing has returned home. Regarding the matter of killing the whip, he has no psychological burden at all. Because he knows if you just subdue the whip, hand it over to the police. That will soon be rescued by the people of Hammer Industries. And then there's another mecha war in New York. Fang Bing was too lazy to go back and forth with him. If you can kill it, just kill it directly. lest there be another fight in New York in the future. He smashed the roof of his house down. After the Iron Man incident, Fang Bing also felt the need to move out. Besides, he's going to college, still turned 18. There is no shortage of money. Still living with Aunt May, Peter Jr. Not always convenient. After all, he has too many things that he can't let the two of them know. So I talked to Aunt May. Across the road a few hundred meters away from home. Bought a detached villa with a yard. If you want to have dinner together at this distance, it only takes a few minutes to walk. And with Fang Bing's hearing ability, all the movement within a few miles cannot be hidden from him. Little Peter, if something happens to them at home, Fang Bing can also react. Sky also pestered Fang Bing for a room. I returned the house I rented next door, moved in together. Definitely Aunt May and Little Peter were also surprised. How could Fang Bing suddenly have so much money to buy a villa? Later, after Fang Bing told them about making money by investing in stocks. There is no doubt, on the contrary, I am very proud of Fang Bing. After all, a child who has just turned 18 can earn the money to buy a villa on his own. It's an amazing thing. Fang Bing, will this be our own home from now on? Asked Sky, rolling on the sofa. Fang Bing pretended to be puzzled and asked deliberately, "Huh? Aren't you a tenant?" He deliberately teased her with a sullen face. Remember to pay the rent on the 1st of every month. Sky jumped over angrily. I started laughing and playing with Fang Bing persistently. Played around for a while. Fang Bing remembered something serious. Because I have been living with Aunt May's Little Peter before. So it's not very convenient to do. Didn't you want to see my ability when you just awakened the ability a few days ago? Now it's time for you to see it. Fang Bing hugged Sky with a smirk and said. Sky suddenly became curious. I heard Fang Bing say that his ability is healing. But there are some side effects. Now Fang Bing finally let her watch it. Quickly urged Fang Bing to demonstrate to him. Fang Bing picked up the dagger, pierced his arm. Then start healing yourself with ability. That peculiar side effect came again. But because these days and nights, Fang Bing has healed himself countless times. Has improved its own tolerance, and before this treatment, I was prepared in advance, in order to hold back the treatment. Ah, what a miraculous healing ability, but what are the side effects you mentioned? Why didn't I find out? Sky asked curiously after watching Fang Bing's demonstration. Fang Bing smirked. You'll know if you try it first. After speaking, he handed the dagger to Sky. Let her make a wound on her own. Sky took the dagger. Look left and right, just dare not start with yourself. Why don't you forget it? It hurts to think about it. Sky looked up at Fang Bing, and said with a pitiful face. Fang Bing helped his forehead helplessly. Then he said solemnly, if you just want to be an ordinary person, then you can save this step, and I won't force you. Sky shook his head quickly. Be a normal person? Then how can you stay with the man in front of you all the time? Gritted his teeth, he closed his eyes and slashed down on himself. Then she found herself holding the dagger hand. Stopped by Fang Bing. What? You little fool, cut directly on the aorta. Rogue. Caught off guard after experiencing the side effects of a healing ability. Sky blushed. After scolding Fang Bing, he ran into the room. No matter how you shout, you can't come out. I was so hungry until the evening. Then I covered my face and came out to find something to eat. But no matter what, she didn't want to experience Fang Bing's special training again. Fang Bing could only give up temporarily. Wait for a while before she recovers. A few nights later, Fang Bing opened the portal again and jumped into the ocean. And this time there was an extra biological detector on his wrist. Iron Man has found new elements 2 days ago. His poisoning crisis was lifted. He ran to the door and invited Fang Bing to have a meal. During the period, I asked Fang Bing again if there was anything I could do for him. So Fang Bing thought of the biological detector. It's the one he's wearing on his wrist now. All creatures within 3 kilometers can be detected. Automatically compare with the database after detection. Just tell Fang Bing what each creature is, in what direction. The key is, can also be used underwater. Although this thing was only made by Iron Man in 1 day. But there is no biological detector with such a powerful function on the market. Fang Bing has been to the sea many times before. Want to find some special marine life like the lighthouse jellyfish. It's just that the sea is too vast. Searching aimlessly. It is too difficult. Now with this biodetector. Although it can only detect 3 kilometers. But compared to before, efficiency has skyrocketed. Fang Bing was swimming aimlessly on the bottom of the sea. Now he didn't have to look for it inch by inch with his eyes. He has already listed dozens of creatures he wants to find. Directly into the biodetector. Just be in the sea. Target creature detected. It will vibrate to remind Fang Bing. So he can look for it while playing. Swimmed for 2 hours tonight and couldn't find it. Come back next time. Sooner or later you can find those uncommon sea creatures with special abilities. Although he knows, maybe go to Iron Man for a suit of underwater mobility. It may be faster than swimming around to find it like this. But trapped in armor, compared with swimming in the sea in person. It's two completely different experiences. Fang Bing has no bitter enemies to defeat. So there is no need to be too eager for quick success. Experience life is the most important thing. Drop, drop, drop. After more than an hour, Fang Bing is lying on the back of a big turtle. Let it roam the bottom of the sea. The biodetector on the wrist beeps. Raise your hand and take a look. It turned out that the detector found a group of box jellyfish 800 meters away. This jellyfish is one of the special marine creatures that Fang Bing was looking for. Fang Bing got up quickly. Swim in the direction indicated by the detector. Soon, Fang Bing saw the group of box jellyfish ahead. Floating in the sea with the current. This swarm of box jellyfish is scattered across an area of seawater. There are 7 or 8 in total. Each one is 30 or 40 centimeters high, and dragging long tentacles. But Fang Bing found out. The sea area where the box jellyfish is in front of you. But no other marine life exists at all, not a single fish. Occasionally some pass by without long eyes. It will also soon die stiff and fall to the bottom of the sea. Fang Bing didn't dare to swim any further, although he doesn't know much about box jellyfish. But his reason for including the creature in his hunt. That's why they are poisonous, now that the target has been found. Then it's time to feed. Fang Bing recruited a gourmet generator. Then, stunned. What does this thing eat? Fang Bing's mind went blank. I don't know anything about this strange knowledge. He had no choice but to leave the sea again. He took out his mobile phone and began to sharpen his guns. The main prey of the box jellyfish is shrimp and small fish. Found it. This is easy. Fang Bing was worried that this thing would eat some strange things. But small fish and shrimp are so easy to handle. Fang Bing began to control the gourmet generator with his mind. Use small fish and shrimps as raw materials. Made a few lumps of food. Then reopen the portal and return to where you were just now. Vigorously threw the food near each box jellyfish and waited for them to eat. Really, food produced by the system, not even jellyfish can resist. Fang Bing looked at those few wriggling in the seawater. A box jellyfish that swims resolutely toward food. My heart blossomed with joy. Box jellyfish. Neurotoxin LV7, which is one of the most poisonous animals in the world, can release neurotoxin to kill dead man within 30 seconds. Tentacle coil LV2, it has long tentacles that can entangle prey. Egg-laying LV5, it can breed offspring by laying eggs. Eyes in all directions LV5, it has 24 eyes, enough to find prey in any direction. Swimming LV1, its speed in the water can reach 4 kilometers per hour. Fang Bing found that the ability of these box jellyfish is not much. There are only a dozen of each. I can't help but look forward to extracting ability even more. Because the creature has less ability, the more likely he is to be able to draw the desired ability. Draw. Congratulations, you have obtained Eye View 8 Directions LV5. Congratulations, you have obtained Neurotoxin LV7. Congratulations, you have obtained Spawning LV5. Congratulations, you have obtained Neurotoxin LV7. A total of 3 Neurotoxin LV7 were extracted from 8 box jellyfish. Only integrate into a Neurotoxin LV8, but Fang Bing knew. He just needs to find one more box jellyfish colony. Another Neurotoxin LV7 was drawn. You can successfully obtain a level 9 Neurotoxin. That will be several times stronger than the original toxin of the box jellyfish. Exactly. When he searched for questions on his mobile phone on the sea just now. By the way, I looked at the living habits of the box jellyfish. Know that they often drift with the currents in the sea. And in front of you is an ocean current, so now. He just needs to keep searching along this ocean current. Determined not to find Fang Bing, who does not sleep tonight. In an hour. Finally found a small group of box jellyfish again. Although the number is only 3. but he still relies on his luck that has recently begun to recover. Another neurotoxin LV7 was drawn. Then the neurotoxin ability he possessed was integrated and evolved again. Neurotoxin LV9. You are extremely poisonous, whoever you touch will die. There are almost no creatures more poisonous than you in nature. Fang Bing read the description of this ability. I feel a little dizzy. Such a terrible poison. Fortunately, after owning this ability, also immune to this toxin. Otherwise, the fun will be great. He sets out to test his newfound ability by finding objects on the ocean floor. According to the biodetector, soon a shark was spotted not far ahead. Fang Bing chased after him, but he hadn't even touched the shark yet. Sharks have already been infected with the poison Fang Bing spread into the sea. Straight into the water. Died. Lying in a trough. Fang Bing was so frightened that he quickly tried to disable this ability. Fine, fortunately for him, when he has his ability disabled, he no longer carries toxic on him at all times. Otherwise, wouldn't it become a source of huge amounts of toxicity? No matter who, whether it's family or friends. Can't get close to yourself? Die next to him? Doesn't that mean that you will be alone for the rest of your life? Fine. Fine. The startled Fang Bing let out a long sigh of relief. The neurotoxin ability is turned on again. Go ahead and start experimenting with ability. The consequence is that, where he swam in the sea, all creatures die. Even if he leaves that sea area. The seawater that has been polluted by his poison. Still highly toxic, it has become a small sea of poison. Although very powerful. But Fang Bing doesn't feel practical. Because such an attack range is too light. When you can't fight. As soon as I come out, regardless of pros and cons. All dead except yourself. He thinks it may be that seawater is too contagious. So a portal was opened, back to the barren mountains and mountains before. Neurotoxin turned on again. Looking at the rabbit that is still alive and kicking a few meters away. Really, neurotoxins are not airborne. He stepped forward and grabbed the rabbit. Touched, only to find that the rabbit was still alive. Because its fur prevents the intrusion of toxins. Until Fang Bing touched its nose and mouth with his fingers. The neurotoxin just entered the rabbit's body. Instantly poisoned it. Fang Bing did some other tests. In the end, I finally figured it out. Own this ability. He just turned himself into a poisonous person. This highly poisonous poison can only be spread through liquids. Blood, saliva. It can only take effect when it enters the living body. Spread so violently in the sea, it is because all creatures in the sea depend on seawater to survive. However, although there are restrictions on the way of poisoning, the toxicity is really strong enough to explode. So far Fang Bing has not found any creature that can survive for more than a second. Basically instant death. Fang Bing is very satisfied with this effect. Although theoretically, the stronger the constitution, the stronger the resistance to toxins. But there are probably not many people on the earth now. Completely immune to this toxin. Open the portal to go home. Neurotoxin ability disabled, and repeatedly remind myself in my heart. Never accidentally turn on this ability at home. Otherwise, I can only go to the Hand Association. Extorted a Keel medicine to revive Sky, who was poisoned to death by himself. At the same time, in a beverage factory in a poor kiln in Brazil. An ordinary worker at work, I accidentally broke my finger. A drop of blood drips from a finger, just happened to fall into a bottle of drink that was being sealed. When the worker found out, seems very nervous. He hurriedly ran to find the bottle of drink that had been mixed into the production line. In the end, he returned without success. 3 days later, into the night, Fang Bing is meditating on the bed. After mastering meditation, sleep is not necessary. Meditation breaks work better than sleep, can keep getting stronger. And Sky's meditation is not yet mastered, there is no such effect yet. So sleeping at the moment. Fang Bing suddenly heard roars that began to shake the ground a few blocks away. Hulk. He realized it was the Hulk and the Abomination who were going to fight. But this is too close to my home, right? It shouldn't be. Didn't Hulk vs. Abomination take place in the black community where Luke Cage lives? How come you came to Queens? But he couldn't think that much anymore. Because he heard the Abomination getting closer to his block. It runs wild in the street, fly away the cars on the side of the road. Pedestrians on the road ran around in fright. The injured wailed in pain. Some unlucky ones didn't have time to escape. He was directly thrown to the ground, and his flesh and blood were smashed to pieces. Sky was also awakened, since she awakened the vibe ability. It is particularly sensitive to vibrations, though the abomination is still a few blocks away. But its body weighing several tons, every step you take will send the gravel flying. Sky woke up. Fang Bing. Fang Bing. No, something happened. A monster is getting closer to our house. Sky in suspender pajamas ran into Fang Bing's room and said in horror. Don't be afraid, it's fine. Fang Bing hugged Sky and comforted him. Cough, it's really fragrant, really big and really white. I didn't expect this girl to develop so well. But I feel that monster is really scary. How about we call Aunt May and the others to hide? Sky raised his head in Fang Bing's arms and said. She was a little frightened when she woke up suddenly in her sleep. She felt it through the ground shaking caused by the abomination. The monster that is getting closer possesses unrivaled power. With her current vibe ability, may not move at all. Don't be afraid, I'm here. Fang Bing comforted softly. Pulled her to sit down. Meditate, meditate. Trust me, I won't let it ruin our home, let alone you and Aunt May little Peter. Sky listened to Fang Bing's confident and firm words. I can't help but settle down. Listen to Fang Bing and start meditating with your eyes closed. Fang Bing stood in front of the window, listening to the movement outside. Though when he consoled Sky, seems so confident. But in fact, there is no bottom in my heart, no real fights. He couldn't estimate how much effect his methods would have on the abomination. But don't worry about safety, even if you can't kill the hatred. I am a magician who can open the portal, if you want to leave, who can stay. And he didn't want to make a move. He's waiting for Dr. Banner to show up. In Fang Bing's memory, not long after the loathing appeared. Hulk will come out and fight him, subdue it. So before the Hulk comes out, this hatred did not offend his own words. Fang Bing intends to watch like this, really. Not long after. When the abomination was a block away from Fang Bing's house. A helicopter appeared in midair. On board were General Ross and his daughter Betty. And Dr. Banner, the untransformed Hulk. Open the door and let me go down, no one can stop it but me. Dr. Banner said with a weak face. But as soon as he finished speaking, Betty, the daughter of General Ross, immediately pulled him back nervously. No, you may fall to your death if you jump down now. Betty's worries were not without reason. Dr. Banner had just been injected with a drug that permanently inhibits transformation. Just jump off the plane, if the transformation is not successful. It may be thrown to death directly, and this drug was injected by Dr. Banner himself. The reason is that he wants to live the life of an ordinary person. Hulk inside, he couldn't live a normal life at all. Obviously his girlfriend Betty is so beautiful and attractive. But he couldn't do anything to her, because once his heart beats faster, will unconsciously transform into the Hulk, if at that time. Too excited. Straight into the Hulk. One can imagine what happened to that girlfriend. So although he and Betty have a good relationship, but because of the Hulk inside, can't be together like normal people. I won't die. Banner watched as the abomination below threw another car into the air. Finally couldn't bear it anymore, he pulled open the helicopter door. Jump down. Banner. Betty cried heartbroken on the plane. General Ross watched silently. But because of the estrangement with her daughter, there is no way to comfort her. What's more, the root cause of all this right now is himself. If it weren't for him to start the research on super soldier serum again, Dr. Banner doesn't accidentally become the Hulk either. The following abominations will not appear either. The daughter will not be so sad now, but it's too late now. He just hoped Banner didn't die when he jumped. Can help him clean up the mess in front of him. When Dr. Banner jumped from the helicopter, hatred has already looked up to the sky. It recognized its old enemy. Hulk. Roar. Get ready for the showdown with the Hulk. Snapped. Dr. Banner from thousands of meters. He fell directly in front of the abomination in the form of a human being. It smashed a hole in the ground in front of it. Died? Hatred looked at the hole in front of him. I was a little confused at first, but soon it is like a big enemy. Hulk. The abomination bellowed the Hulk's name. Because this is its demon, it was the fundamental reason why he chose to become an abomination. With the roar of hatred, the ground exploded. The Hulk jumped out of a hole in the ground below. A heavy punch landed on Hate's jaw. It flew tens of meters away. But soon the abomination stood up again. Two huge amounts of monsters just like this in the bustling downtown area of New York. You punch me and kick me. In their hands, the car was thrown around like a brick. Innocent passers-by are even more vulnerable, like ants. It shatters when touched. High-rise buildings, private houses, villas. Where did their battle go? There are ruins there. The ground shattered, there were explosions and screams everywhere. New York City at the moment is like hell, and a block away. Fang Bing is also watching the battle, through his super hearing. The control of the battlefield is even more accurate than what he saw with his own eyes. With the Abomination fighting the Hulk, he also had a general understanding of the fighting power of the two. I have some ideas in my heart, but he still didn't want to make a move. Because it's none of his business, in this world. The only people he cares about now are Aunt May, Little Peter, and definitely Sky. The lives of the rest, what to do with him? Even if you have ability, why do you have to protect those who have nothing to do with you? Fang Bing always thinks. Life is alive, it is enough to be responsible for your own life. Besides, those people outside were not killed by him. There is absolutely no need for Our Lady. In the original universe, Aunt May was not because she was too holy. Advised Spider-Man to mind his own business, instead, she ended up killing herself. Plus he knew the Hulk would eventually defeat the Abomination. Because the Abomination is about the same as the Hulk's power defense. But it doesn't have the Hulk's ability to grow stronger as it gets angry. Not to mention the recovery ability of the Hulk. So the failure of hate is doomed. On board the S.H.I.E.L.D. space carrier. Captain America Steve. Luo Jess was pacing back and forth in front of the bald chief. Fury, you just let me go, innocent people are being hurt there. Nick. Fury looked at him helplessly. He stretched out his hand and projected the real-time on-site video onto the big screen. I won't let you go because I don't want you to die. See for yourself. Nick. Fury turned his head and left. But Captain America was dumbfounded. What kind of monsters are these two? It takes a lot of force to lift a car by yourself. But these two monsters. The car can be thrown around like a toy car with one hand. That punch and kick, it was a total shock. Captain America finally understood why Nick. Fury is determined not to let him go on missions. A special order was issued for this purpose. He is not allowed to leave the helicarrier in any flight vehicle. The bald director is really afraid that he will die. Even if he has 6 times the physique super soldier serum. I'm afraid in the hands of these two monsters. Can't last a minute, it will be hammered into a meat paste. Fang Bing originally thought that he had nothing to do tonight. But it turns out, he thought too much. Whether it's Dr. Banner's transformation into the Hulk or the Abomination. After the two monsters fought, already completely lost my mind. Their battle range is getting bigger and bigger. With brute force, he kicked and jumped between tall buildings. Strike hard. It didn't take long to hit Fang Bing's neighborhood. Originally, Fang Bing was still thinking about it. As long as they don't demolish their own and Aunt May's house. Just ignore them. But the accident happened soon. As the two monsters clashed again in the air. The Hulk gets a sudden kick from the Abomination. Kicked and flew out. It hit Fang Bing's villa straight. Grass. Fang Bing cursed speechlessly, standing in the villa. Swipe with one hand. A large round orange-yellow portal appeared between Hulk and villa. Blocked the direction of the Hulk's fall. Although the Hulk reacted at the last moment. Wanted to reach out and grab the edge of the portal. But still not in time. Whoosh, it fell into the portal at once. Instantly followed the portal and disappeared. Betty, the girlfriend who had been watching the live video below on the plane, exclaimed, Banner. General Ross was also dumbfounded. He had also learned about a magician in New York from information before. But never imagined, the magician actually appeared at this time. I don't know how to get rid of the Hulk that Banner turned into. No Hulk. What about the Abomination below? And Captain America watching this scene on the space carrier. Unlike the reactions of General Ross at all. When he saw the portal appear. The haze and powerlessness in my heart dissipated immediately. Because he knew that this meant that the magician who once drank and ate meat with him had made a move. He knows Fang Bing best. See Fang Bing shot. He felt that the monster below must be finished. A magician who can turn a Quinjet fighter into a rose petal, but can't deal with a monster who can only use brute force. Although Captain America has a big misunderstanding of Fang Bing's ability. But Fang Bing after successfully banishing the Hulk. I also have confidence in myself. Even if he is not confident, he has no choice but to go out and fight. Because the Abomination saw Hulk disappear over the villa. It's getting more irritable. Hulk, it's mine. After roaring, he ran straight towards the villa. Since Hulk disappeared on this villa, Then demolish this house. Be sure to find the Hulk. Fang Bing tried to open a portal in front of the abominable run. But the abomination directly held the frame of the portal. Didn't step in at all. And the portal once cut the iron tyrant into a cutting force at both ends. But it only cut a wound on the skin of the hatred. It cannot be cut into pieces. Then the portal was torn down by hatred and anger. The magical energy is quickly exhausted, disappeared in place. Fang Bing had expected this situation. After all, the portal is just an auxiliary spell. The original intention of creation was not to kill. The accompanying cutting force, also just unintentional collateral damage. When the opponent's physique is tough enough, it is also normal for the portal to be unable to cut. But Fang Bing has other methods. He won't go out until he can solve it. If you go out, your identity may be exposed. Now there must be many forces outside paying attention. Hate to see the portal disappear in front of me. I want to continue to move towards the villa. But the next moment, another portal appeared on the ground in front of it. It fell in with 1 foot. Seeing that the trick was successful, Fang Bing immediately cancelled the spell and closed the portal. But found that the portal could not be closed. It turned out that the abomination grabbed the edge of the portal with one hand. Did not fully enter the portal, stuck between 2 spaces. The portal cannot disappear because of the abomination. Soon, a mighty hatred. With a lift of his arm, he escaped from the portal. Fang Bing felt that he could not be lazy this time. If you don't solve this thing, the villa I just bought will definitely not be able to keep. I had to take out my night clothes and put them on. Wrap tightly. Opened a portal and came to the abomination. How about discussing something? Get out now, and I won't kill you. Fang Bing said coldly with a fire in his heart. The abomination hammered his chest and roared, Hulk, mine. It wasn't an irrational monster at all. His name was Bronsky, and he was an elite soldier under General Ross. Previously in the pursuit of Dr. Banner, mission failed due to Dr. Banner's transformation into the Hulk. A strong desire for power arose in his heart. Voluntarily accepted the super soldier serum injection from General Ross. After transforming into a super soldier, go challenge the Hulk again. He was violently tortured again, and his bones were smashed to pieces. After being rescued, I injected super serum for the second time. However, the negative emotions in my heart were magnified by the side effects of super serum. Become more and more manic and crazy. The final insane choice was infused with Hulk's serum. Caused himself to become a complete monster who hates this. After all, he was originally just a strong soldier. But was pushed into the abyss step by General Ross. But Fang Bing has no time to pity and hate now. Because it has already rushed towards itself. Fang Bing wants to try his melee ability. He also rushed up. Then he doesn't feel good. Although Hate's fighting skills are not as good as his own. Hit it 10 punches yourself. It can touch itself with a punch. But punch it 10 times yourself, to it seemed to be painless. Even if he has super physique LV7 plus divine power LV1. After superposition, the strength has far surpassed that of Asgard's elite fighters. But it doesn't do any actual damage to the abomination. But the occasional punch of hatred, but directly beat him out. Although it feels unharmed, but it also felt like being hit with a hammer. The body was shaken and it didn't feel good. It is indeed a monster that can fight fiercely with the Hulk. Fang Bing understood the gap. Knowing that it is impossible to solve this abomination by fighting alone. Stand up again. He showed a strange smile. If that's the case, then don't blame me. Melee combat is only a small part of Fang Bing ability. When the test is over, after knowing your melee combat level, Fang Bing laughed out loud. He looked at the wounds all over his body. Some of those wounds were punched by the Hulk. Some were just cut out by the portal. Used the healing ability on the abomination that rushed to the front again. Oh. How can the abhorrence that is already mentally incomplete be able to bear this kind of stimulation? Dazed on the spot let out a strange roar. The huge and ugly body also had some kind of strange reaction. Podgy lay on the ground trembling. Fang Bing stopped the healing ability. Before boarding the plane, facing the giant monster who didn't know whether he was struggling or enjoying himself. Turn on the neurotoxin. Inject deadly poison into its body constantly from the abominable wound. In a blink, all the wounds of hatred began to turn black. But it is worthy of being a monster with a physique comparable to the Hulk. Fang Bing is a neurotoxin capable of instantly poisoning any normal creature. Into its body. but it couldn't kill it immediately. I saw the disgusted body trembling even more. A weak growl began to come out of his mouth. It has realized something is wrong. Wanting to stand up again and fight back. But how could Fang Bing give it this chance? Poison in the left hand. The right hand gave treatment to the other wounds on its body. The abomination began to tremble strangely again. After playing enough, put your hands on the ground. Activated the substance transformation ability. The concrete floor starts to disappear. A huge vibranium cage with its door open appears in place. Fang Bing kicked the hatred into the door. The material transformation was launched again. Change the shape of the vibranium cage. Seal the door of the cage directly. Fang Bing is going to keep the abomination as a pet. Feed it 10 meals a day. Sooner or later, it will be able to extract its divine power and physique that is not inferior to the Hulk. Although it doesn't have the kind of Hulk, angrier ability with greater strength and resilience. But Fang Bing didn't want the ability to affect emotions either. I don't even want to be green. So the abomination is now to him. It is the best choice to get ability. As for hating to be good or not. Will it accept feeding honestly? Fang Bing wasn't worried at all. After all, if he didn't make a move today, hate last. Also kept as pets by the magicians of Kamar Taj. Also by Pharaoh Magician, take it to the ring to fight fake punches to make money. This speaks to the abomination's ability to be a good pet. After closing the hatred, Fang Bing began to treat it through the cage. Get rid of the toxicity in its body. Although the hatred will not be poisoned to death for a while. But after being poisoned for a long time, 80% of them will die. After all, it has no resilience. Originally the abomination was locked behind the vibranium cage. Slow down quickly. Started struggling and roaring in the cage. When Fang Bing started treatment, the abomination in the cage quickly quieted down. There was another strange sound, and I don't know if it's an illusion. Convenience always feels that the way it looks at itself is wrong. While Fang Bing was busy here, the sky directly and quickly fell to the ground. General Ross and Hulk's girlfriend Betty got off the plane. The armed forces that were originally hiding also received orders. Driving the Hummer again surrounded the scene. Where did you get Banner? Is he still alive? As soon as Betty got off the helicopter, she walked towards Fang Bing and asked eagerly. General Ross looked at the abomination in the cage. Stopped her daughter from coming forward. He solemnly opened his mouth and shouted to Fang Bing. Magician, this monster is an inherent property of the military, please give it to us. And Dr. Banner, please tell us his whereabouts too. As General Ross spoke, the surrounding armed forces also raised their guns. Aimed at Fang Bing. Ready to shoot if there is a disagreement. Fang Bing glanced at General Ross strangely. I thought this guy was a fool. Why should I give you the pet that I have worked so hard to catch? Ignore them. Open the portal directly on the ground beneath your feet. Fall into the portal with the vibranium cage and disappear. The armed men around looked at each other in blank dismay. Don't know what to do. Check. Find out who he is. Bronsky must be found. General Ross ordered angrily. Two of the most successful subjects of his rebooted super soldier serum project. That's Dr. Banner and the Abomination, although it was a bit of a surprise. But he has also seen the power of the two monsters. He realized that victory was at hand, so he's not about to give up on the project. Rather, to get both the Hulk and the Abomination back. Based on two monsters. Keep experimenting. Improve formula. Finally, the goal of producing super soldiers in batches is achieved. And now, both the Hulk and Banner disappeared because of this sudden appearance of the magician. They can only be found by finding the magician. After Fang Bing stepped out of the portal with the vibranium cage. Has come to the bottom of the deep sea, he found a suitable place. It began to continuously transform the soil on the seabed under its feet. After a while, a vibranium cell below the surface of the ocean floor emerges. Cells also have tens of cubic meters of file size. The surrounding walls are all made of vibranium. There is no door. The interior is also separated from the seawater. Fang Bing opened a portal to enter the cell. Shut the hatred in. Here is his temporary habitat for the abomination. In order to ensure that it is not found here, he came outside again. On top of the vibranium cells another layer of lead soil was transformed. Make sure that even if a submarine passes by above, it will not detect anomalies. After feeling safe, Fang Bing opened the portal and returned home. Sky had long since finished meditating. Been waiting for him for a long time. See him back, hastily stepped forward and said, "It's not good, the surrounding blocks are blocked by the army." Fang Bing smiled when he heard this. "It's okay, I didn't reveal my identity, and they will leave later." Sure enough, as Fang Bing said, it was not yet dawn. The troops, who found nothing nearby, all withdrew. But what Fang Bing didn't expect was that General Ross was not one to give up easily. Let the army go just to kill the fishing boats in the panic. When he got back to base, immediately let the intelligence department begin to analyze all abnormalities with all its strength. Try to find the identity of the magician. General Ross also personally contacted S.H.I.E.L.D. Ask S.H.I.E.L.D. if they know the identity of the magician. Nick Fury knew that Fang Bing must not be offended. Nothing was told to him. The intelligence department soon found out that when Iron Man was previewing in the bar, asked for help from the magician, in the end, it was indeed saved by a portal. They sent someone to look for Tony again, Stark asked. But Iron Man still owes Fang Bing 2 lives, how could it be possible to betray Fang Bing? The military people were sent away directly, until 2 days later. General Ross's intelligence department analyzed. Just discovered a breakthrough point. General, we discovered that the first time the magician appeared on Manhattan Boulevard, he killed the people rescued by the Iron Overlord. He was also in the villa that was once again protected by the magician the night before yesterday. It's probably not a coincidence. General Ross took over the file. Check it out carefully. After a while, it's not a coincidence. The magician must be related to the 4 people in that car. General Ross said affirmatively with a happy expression on his face. Send someone to bring those 4 back for interrogation. Several military vehicles were filled with soldiers, heading towards Fang Bing's home in Queens, New York. Jingle bell. The phone rang. Woke up Fang Bing, who was meditating. He picked up his phone and looked at it. It was the call from the bald chief. Fang Bing, there is bad news. General Ross has found out that you and your family have a connection with the magician, and arresting your army is already on the way. Fang Bing frowned when he heard the words. How did he know? It can't be from S.H.I.E.L.D., right? The bald director hurriedly explained. Don't underestimate General Ross. The military has an independent intelligence department, and it also has its own secret agents. It's not difficult to find some cobweb traces. Fang Bing had a headache. I feel a little troublesome now. Not that he was afraid of General Ross. Just because once the identity is exposed, it means that the previous leisurely life will be gone forever. Is there anything you can do to get him to dismiss the idea? Fang Bing asked the bald director on the phone. The bald chief was overjoyed. Know that the opportunity has come. Unless you return those 2 monsters to him. Even so, based on what I know about General Ross, he won't easily give up his curiosity about you, a magician. Unless you officially join S.H.I.E.L.D., I have the right to refuse all unreasonable demands from the military. Fang Bing knew what the bald director was playing. Too lazy to talk to him. Hang up the phone directly. He's ready to handle it himself. Since General Ross wants to find out the identity of the magician so much. Just let him know. Then Fang Bing sat at home and waited for General Ross's arrival. 10 minutes later, several Humvees rolled into the block. Fang Bing saw that the target had appeared. A portal opened directly in front of the car. The driver was so scared that he stepped on the brakes. Fang Bing walked out from the portal. 3 punches and 2 feet against the hail of bullets. Knock all soldiers unconscious. Then opened a huge amounts of portal. The soldiers in the Humvee vehicles were thrown in together. The portal Fang Bing chose to open directly beside General Ross. In the military base. Looking at the huge portal that suddenly appeared in front of him. General Ross, who has not yet figured out what happened. He was almost crushed to death by several Humvees that fell out of the portal. After tumbling to escape the sudden danger, General Ross just stood up to give orders. Only to find that the masked magician appeared in front of him. She grabbed his neck and lifted him up. I heard you were looking for me? Soldiers around reacted. See the general being controlled. They all raised their guns and aimed at Fang Bing, who suddenly appeared. But in the next second, they were all knocked down by the thunderbolt electric current issued by Fang Bing. General Ross kicked his legs and struggled in midair. Feel like you can't breathe. Life began to slowly slip away from him. Finally, before he was about to die, Fang Bing let go of his hand. He fell to the ground. Cough, cough. General Ross coughed violently on the ground. He took a big breath of air. Wait until you recover. Just wanted to talk. But the magician in front of him opened a portal again. On the other side of the door was his daughter Betty. Fang Bing reached out through the portal. He grabbed Betty over. He flung it to General Ross. "I heard you want to interrogate my family?" Fang Bing pulled down his mask and asked again. This is General Ross, and Betty only found out. It turned out that the magician was just a young man less than 20 years old. And General Ross, who has read the information, recognized quickly. The magician in front of him is Fang Bing, the owner of that villa. It was one of 4 people who sat in the car on Manhattan Avenue. He also immediately understood why Fang Bing came to him. "Don't hurt my daughter. I will never go to your family again." A person who can be a general, it can't be a brainless, stunned young man. Knowing how to judge the situation is a necessary basic quality. Fang Bing nodded. "Then it's only you and me who are left with personal grievances." Waved open a portal. On the other side of the door is the undersea vibranium cell where the abomination resides. "You want my pet? Then give it back to you." Roar. After watching the abomination emerge from the portal, Fang Bing left the military base. Let this monster wreak havoc on the military base. Admiral Ross saw Fang Bing put the abomination directly into the base. Hastily began to organize troops to try to arrest. But if the military has the ability to catch the abomination, why did Hulk take action in the first 2 nights? Their weapons, there is no way to harm this indestructible monster. Countless casualties, military installations, tank, military vehicle, airplane, it was also quickly destroyed by angry hatred. And at the beginning, I realized that it was not good. Immediately pulled his daughter into General Ross, who took refuge in the bunker. Watching his own military base being destroyed. My heart is bleeding, but helpless. At the moment he finally realized. Fang Bing the magician, not a nice gentleman. It's a demon returning from hell, also recognized the reality. No to hate this monster. It's not something he can control. The upheaval at the military base quickly reached the president's ears. General Ross soon received a severe reprimand, and ordered him to deal with this monster as quickly as possible. Prevent the abomination from running out of the military base, entering the urban area again to threaten the public. Otherwise, he, the general, will be dismissed on the spot and will be tried by a military court. General Ross knew he had no other way to go. So far he knows of only 2 people who can deal with the abomination. Dr. Banner and Fang Bing the magician, and Dr. Banner since entering the portal. So far there is still no news, so he was left with only one option. General Ross picked up the satellite phone, silently dialed Fang Bing's phone number that the intelligence department had just found out. 2 hours later, Fang Bing opened the portal again and came back. See the already devastated military base, for the destructive power of hatred. I am very satisfied, under General Ross's humble pleading. Only then did he agree to take away the abomination again. To this end, General Ross paid for a Quinjet. There is also research material on the super soldier serum. Quinjet is Fang Bing's transportation. He had also obtained the ability to fly a plane before. For Quinjet, you can drive away if you are familiar with it at most. The research data of super serum is useless at present. But if Fang Bing can find a reliable scientist in the future, developed super serum without side effects, it is also a good thing. Fang Bing didn't intend to give up hating this pet at first. He put the abomination in front of the base. The subsequent development has been predicted. He knows that apart from himself, the current military simply cannot find anyone else to subdue the abomination. Not even Iron Man. Because Iron Man hasn't developed anti-Hulk armor yet. The next thing is easy. Fang Bing, who has been caught for a while. It was sent to the vibranium cell under the sea again after being familiar with the road. After the matter came to an end, Fang Bing lived a leisurely life again. Just tease Sky when you were bored. The day is also very interesting. But it was giving him a headache. Own pets hate it. Haven't eaten yet. It's been several days. Fang Bing threw some food in, but it doesn't seem to have the slightest sense of smell. No response at all. Just punching and kicking the vibranium cell every once in a while. Trying to jailbreak. Now Fang Bing has run out of patience. He is ready to come hard. Open the door to the vibranium cell. After facing the abomination, a set of poisoning and healing combination punches was given. Put it in a cage. Then used the substance conversion ability on the cage. Makes the abomination immobilized in the vibranium cage and cannot struggle. He stretched out his hand and forcibly opened its mouth. A large piece of tender and juicy beef was stuffed into its throat. Close your mouth. Wait for it to swallow. Fang Bing has already thought about it. If this happens, it doesn't swallow it yet. I stabbed him in with an iron rod. Fine, to Fang Bing's relief, after the hatred smacked the beef in his mouth twice. He swallowed it straight away. After eating, she even looked at him expectantly. Only then did Fang Bing understand. It turns out that this product really has no sense of smell. I have never eaten what I feed myself. It's because it can't smell what it is at all. But its taste is still there. After tasting the food made by the gourmet generator in the mouth, just fell in love with it. After all, it is the temptation of delicious food that even the gods cannot resist. It's a brain full of muscles. How could it be possible? After it swallows the beef, the system also gets a list of its abilities. Abhorrence, super physique LV9. Its body is indestructible by fire and water, even by missiles. Divine power LV5. The power is infinite, 5 times that of Asgard's elite fighters. Retarded LV9. Its intelligence has been severely damaged, only at the level of a 2-year-old human. Devil muscle LV8. His muscle density is extremely high, and his defense is strong, which can make all the bodybuilders in the world feel ashamed. Melee combat LV8. It used to be an elite fighter with extremely superb melee combat skills. Fang Bing looked at the list of abominable abilities. Only then did I understand why its vitality was so strong. Not only does he have a super physique that is 2 levels higher than his own, there is also the ability to simply improve defense like devil muscles. No wonder I can't fight in melee, and the reason why it is stronger than itself. Fang Bing also found it. The reason is that in addition to the strength bonus brought by its super physique, he also has the same divine power to improve his strength as himself. And it is still 4 levels higher than his divine power. No wonder I was so uncomfortable being able to punch myself at that time. After seeing the abominable ability, Fang Bing can guess. Hulk should also have these abilities. It's just that there may be more abilities about strengthening anger and restoring the body than it does. Draw. Congratulations on obtaining divine power LV5. Fang Bing nodded in satisfaction. Good. I originally had divine power, and now I have a higher level. After integrate is superimposed, although the physique is not as good as hatred. But sheer power should match it, even stronger than it. Fang Bing released the abomination from the cage. I want to test my current combat power, but an accident happened. Originally he thought that after the hatred came out, I will continue to fight endlessly for myself. But did not expect. After the hatred came out, Podgy sat on the ground, looking at Fang Bing's honest face, still muttering in his mouth, meat, meat. Good guy. That's it. I knew your virtue a long time ago. What are you fussing about? Put some food in your mouth early. No, there is no need to be so troublesome. Get up and fight, and I'll give you meat. Fang Bing said to the hate like coaxing a child. Unfortunately it didn't work out. Hungry, meat. It hasn't eaten for a few days. Looks like I'm really hungry. Fang Bing recruits a food maker. Start batch making grilled steaks. It is estimated that after eating 100 caddies. Just burped. Good guy. Fang Bing knows why Pharaoh, the big magician of Kamar Taj, going to take it to punch fake. I don't want to make more money. I can't afford to support this big foodie. Kamar Taj has to be eaten up by it. After all, the magician of Kamar Taj, you don't have the ability to make food out of thin air like yourself. From now on, your name will be Xiao Huang. I hate that the name is too ugly and it will scare the children. Fang Bing stroked his chin after pondering. Give it a new name. Although its predecessor was the elite fighter Bronsky. But Bronsky is long gone, after mutation. Now no matter the soul or this monster-like body. Neither has anything to do with the original Bronsky. It is apart from the obsession with Hulk. Not even Bronsky's previous memory survived. So come up with a new name. It's like starting a new life. In the end, Fang Bing failed to experiment with the newly acquired power on Xiao Huang. Because Xiao Huang refused to attack no matter what. The one in front of me has abused it several times. Whoever gives it delicious food now. Fang Bing had no choice but to leave some food for it. He left the submarine prison. Jingle bell. Fang Bing just came home. The phone rang. After answering the phone, it was the chief bawled. Dear Lord Magician, can you tell me where Dr. Banner went? Huh? Dr. Banner? Hulk. Only then did Fang Bing remember. It seems that there is another person who has been forgotten by him. Where did the portal I opened back then come from? A few days ago, Dr. Banner's Hulk fell through the portal on the roof. After going through the portal, it fell directly from the sky into a white glacier. After falling headfirst, smashed through the ice and fell into the icy seawater. The Hulk struggled for several minutes after writhing in the icy water. It finally calmed down slowly, changed back to the mild-mannered Dr. Banner. With difficulty, he crawled out of the ice hole. Wait, fuck? What the hell kind of place is this? Dr. Banner, cold and hungry, wearing only a pair of ragged pants. Looking at the boundless glacier, can't tell where I am. But in order to survive, he can only walk step by step in one direction. Whenever he was freezing to death, the Hulk in the body will appear automatically. Transform into the Hulk to continue life. It went on like this for a few days. Until a Quinjet stopped in front of him, he just ran over like meeting his relatives. Successfully escaped from here. Arrived at S.H.I.E.L.D. From the mouth of the bald chief in front of him. When I learned that I had been wandering in the wilderness near Iceland for the past few days. Dr. Banner swears, there's no way in this life to go to that ghost place in Iceland again. Correct, and the Antarctic and the North Pole are not going either. The most important thing is, I will meet that magician again later. You must not enter his portal again, that's it. With the unintentional help of Fang Bing. In Fang Bing, in order to repay the favor of the bald director for tipping off the news in advance. Tell the location opposite the portal. The Avengers that Director Bald has been planning. Dr. Banner was joined in advance, beyond the Earth. Asgard domain. The majestic and majestic palace is full of laughter today. Because today is the day when the new king of Asgard is enthroned. The new king who will sit on the throne is the son of Odin, beloved by the people of Asgard. Thor. He fought in the 9 realms, and his powers shook the quartet. The eldest son of Odin again, be the new king of Asgard, unquestioned. Thor thought so too. He thought he was destined to ascend to this throne today. But an accident happened, just when the enthronement ceremony was about to be completed. A warning comes from Odin's vault. Several of Jotunheim's ice giants have sneaked into the vault. Want to steal Odin's treasured ice crate. Although the infiltrator was quickly wiped out by the destroyer guarding the treasure house. But the coronation ceremony was interrupted. Thor ruined his enthronement because of the giants of Jotunheim. Furious. Egged on by his younger brother Loki. Reckless trespassing, Jotunheim, the kingdom of the ice giants, wants revenge. But thus rekindled the war between Asgard and the ice giants. Sealed by the father of god Odin. Teleportation through Bifrost space. Banished to Earth. And then thrown to the Earth together. And Thor's hammer. Mjolnir. Jingle bell. Dear magician, we found a strange hammer, do you want to have a look? Suddenly received a call from Nick. Fury, Fang Bing rested his chin and thought. Thor's Mjolnir dropped by Odin. That Thor should have been exiled to Earth by his father. Do you want to go and have a look? He thought about it carefully. I think it is better to go there, because as far as Fang Bing knows. Now that Thor has been lowered, that Asgard warrior of Asgard. Including Loki will come to Earth one after another. You can try it out. Can you have a chance to get some benefits? Besides, Fang Bing also wants to see the real Thor in this universe with his own eyes. Is it as stupid and cute as in the movie? There is no difference with Erha. Because it feels more dangerous there, you may also meet Loki, the old Yinbi. Fang Bing did not take Sky with him this time. So he drove the Quinjet to New Mexico City alone. To New Mexico, Fang Bing flew towards the place the bald director told him. It didn't take long to fly and I saw the big round hole smashed by Mjolnir. Hammer has been quarantined by S.H.I.E.L.D. at this moment. They are setting up the experimental camp. Quinjet fell from the sky. Immediately, harsh alarms sounded in the camp. Before those guards stepped forward to ask, Nick, Fury and Natasha Romanoff came out to greet him. Followed by Iron Man and Hawkeye. Fang Bing didn't expect Iron Man to come to New Mexico. The original thing is developing. Iron Man didn't show up at all, did he? But Fang Bing didn't care too much. After all, Iron Man is also now part of the Avengers. Something so miraculous happened. It's normal for Nick Fury to ask him to study. After greeting a few people, Fang Bing is going to see Thor's Mjolnir first. When I came to the hole made by the hammer, I saw that the hammer was sinking in the soil. The metal hammer face is branded with runes. Even people who have no experience can see that this is not ordinary. Can you pick up this hammer? We've tried everything. Natasha Romanoff, still exuding her irreplaceable charm, asked Fang Bing and Iron Man. I'll try. Iron Man couldn't bear it anymore. He also just got here. Just came a little earlier than Fang Bing. Haven't had time to study this hammer yet. Here, this hammer is so amazing. It made him itch not to try it himself. He summoned the armor. He stepped forward and grabbed the handle of the hammer. Lift it up with all your might. The hammer didn't budge. He is still not convinced. A hammer is just that big. How could it be impossible to mention it? JARVIS, start flight mode, reverse jet at full speed. Iron Man then turned on the maximum power of the arc reactor in an attempt to pull it out. To his surprise, the hammer remained motionless. Fact. This is unscientific. My Mark armor can carry 5 tons of items to fly, but I can't make this hammer move. Iron Man cursed angrily. No matter how hard you try, you can't pick it up, because this hammer is cursed by Odin. Fang Bing almost burst out laughing, and couldn't help reminding. Odin? The father of God in Norse mythology? Are you kidding me? Iron Man said in amazement. The other people around also had incredible expressions. Iron Man, who worships science, doesn't quite believe that there is a God in this world. He is a true materialist. But thinking of the person next to me is still a magician. My heart is also calm. Strictly speaking, they are not gods, but an alien race stronger than humans. After Fang Bing finished speaking, he also stepped forward and grabbed the handle of the hammer. Because I have been meditating for a while. Increased mental strength. The body also has cosmic energy. The moment he held it, he sensed Odin's spell on the hammer. But he can only sense it. A curse cast by Odin himself. It's not something a half-baked magician like him can lift. But he also wanted to see if he could shake the Mjolnir with his own strength. Because Fang Bing wanted to take a quiz, the gap between myself and the Father of God. Pull it up with all your strength forever. Don't move. Fang Bing just obtained divine power LV5 from the abomination. After the superposition, the power may have surpassed the Hulk. But still can't shake the hammer. Now he can understand why the Hulk couldn't uproot Mjolnir afterwards either. Finally realized the gap between himself and Odin's strength. Not too far. But Fang Bing is not discouraged either. Because Odin is the king of the universe who killed 5,000 years ago. If Odin had not retired after unifying the 9 realms. Later, it was not the turn of the rise of the 3 great empires of the universe. The Kree and Skrull are just little brothers in front of Odin. What's more, Fang Bing has a terrible guess. That is, Odin once had an infinity gauntlet filled with 6 infinite gems. Fang Bing's guess is well-founded. First, there is already a copy of the infinity gauntlet in Odin's treasury, which means he has seen the real thing a long time ago. Second, the dwarf king who later created the infinity gauntlet for Thanos was Odin's subordinate. Third, Odin's son Thor and his eldest daughter Hela are not from the same mother. Thor's mother, Frigga, is just Odin's new queen. So where did Hela's biological mother go? Was it sacrificed by Odin for the soul gem? If so, Fang Bing does not believe that Odin will really be stabbed to death by the eldest daughter Hela in the future. He may also be like the Ancient One magician later, just suspended animation. Then this person is terrifying. Scarier than Ancient One magician. Because the Ancient One magician is Earth Asgardian. And Odin was once the destroyer of cosmic civilization. But all of this is just Fang Bing's guess based on the memories of his previous life. He's also not sure what kind of person Odin really is now. Maybe Odin is really getting old now, falling into Odin's sleep, maybe? 8 p.m. A temporary base has been built around the fall of Mjolnir. Fang Bing and Iron Man were drinking and chatting in the base. They are waiting for Thor's arrival. That's right. Under Natasha Romanoff and Iron Man's rounds of hard work. Fang Bing has already told them who owns the hammer tonight. Thor might come to steal the hammer. He didn't reveal anything else. Since Odin could be a dangerous man, then Fang Bing is not going to change Thor's next experience. Because if Odin is not that simple, then he drives Thor to the lower bounds. It's not to punish him, and it may be to let Thor wake up as soon as possible. Work harder and become the future king of Asgard as soon as possible. A trial specially set up. If so, then Fang Bing can't easily intervene. Otherwise Odin found himself in Asgard sabotaging his son's trials. That's not sure what's going to happen, but tell everyone in S.H.I.E.L.D. that Thor will come to steal the hammer. But it doesn't change anything at all, because anyway, Thor will be caught. Identities will be revealed. So everyone waited together, Prepare to see the arrival of Thor in Fang Bing's mouth. Drank for 2 hours. Finally, it wasn't until 10 o'clock in the evening that Thor arrived. Nick Fury has told the agents ahead of time. Don't be stubborn. That's Thor. Let him in. The hammer is useless to S.H.I.E.L.D. anyway, if Thor really came. Then just let him take it away. S.H.I.E.L.D. has less trouble, too. If possible, Nick Fury also wanted a contact with this Thor child. It is convenient to ask him for help in times of crisis. Just like him and Captain Marvel. After all, Thor is a god, so he can't be weaker than Captain Marvel, right? Then, when Thor comes, no one cares about him at all. Let him sneak to the hammer, and at the moment, Fang Bing and Iron Man are nearby, waiting to see the fabled Thor in action. And then they see it. A scruffy man ran in. See the hammer in the pit. He came up excitedly and grabbed the handle of the hammer. Is this Thor? Fang Bing, you are a magician, not a magician. Why are you still fooling people? The bald director looked at Fang Bing and said with an expression that you were teasing me. Fang Bing ignored him, still watching Thor carefully. Because Fang Bing knew that Thor would look like this. I also knew that he would not be able to pull out the hammer. The reason why Fang Bing is watching here now. Just to see for themselves what the fabled people of Asgard were like. Is there a discrepancy with his memory? It will be convenient for him to carry out his future plans. Then, the bald director and others saw it. After the sloppy man downstairs found that he couldn't easily pick up the hammer. Start pulling the hammer with all your might. But toss for a long time. The hammer remained silent. In vain. It is raining heavily. Thor crouched dejectedly in the puddle around the hammer. Hard as dead ashes, he even wanted to cry. He felt abandoned by the whole world. The bald director and others saw this. It is agreed that Fang Bing is definitely fooling them. Could such a psychotic homeless man be the legendary Thor? I can't talk anymore. Nick Fury looked at Fang Bing. But Fang Bing ignored him. Turn around and leave. Nick Fury can only let the agents out, take Thor to the interrogation room. Ask who this man really is, if only an ordinary tramp. Hurry up and send it away. After Thor entered the interrogation room, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent went in and asked a few questions. But Thor said nothing, still wallowing in his own grief. After the agents left, Fang Bing knew it was time for him to act. He pretends to be a normal agent, bring a pot of coffee and a couple of sandwiches, entered the interrogation room. After putting down the food made by the gourmet maker, left immediately. This is Fang Bing's plan. Don't meddle in anything. Only contact Asgardians with S.H.I.E.L.D. Look for opportunities to acquire their abilities. Sure enough, it was as Fang Bing expected. When he just walked out the door, Thor in the interrogation room sniffled. He smelled the aroma of coffee and sandwiches on the table in front of him. It was his first time on Earth. Never had food from this Earth. I don't know what food is in front of me, but he just thought it was delicious and he wanted to eat it. I immediately forgot the sadness just now. He picked up the coffee and drank it with a few sips. Several sandwiches were also eaten by him in 2 or 3 bites. Eat clean. Fang Bing stayed in the side room. Already obtained Thor ability list. But the moment he saw the ability list, I knew I had miscalculated. Thor, Asgard royal family. Asgard royal body. Special. As an Asgard royal, he has a long life, strong resilience and defense, and can quickly become stronger through training. The older the age, the stronger the strength. The power of Thor. Not activated, he is the god who is born to control thunder and lightning, but now he has not awakening power of the thunder and lightning. Super physique LV8. Seal, as an Asgard royal family, he possesses a physique far superior to ordinary Asgard warriors. Divine power LV4. Seal, as an Asgard royal family, he is born with supernatural power, possessing power far beyond that of ordinary Asgards. Super melee combat LV9. In his long combat career, he has honed his super melee combat skills. Fang Bing was numb, because he knew to see Thor's ability list. I just remembered when Thor was dropped by Odin. A special ability has been sealed, only if Thor meets Odin's demands. I have the responsibility of being a king in my heart. Only then can these seals be lifted automatically. All abilities. The power of Thor is inactive. It's because Thor didn't have awakening in the first place. Now Thor, leaving Mjolnir. There is no way to unleash any of Thor's power at all. Only rely on Mjolnir, so now he's just a hammer god. Other than the gods of Asgard, Ability useful for Fang Bing. All were sealed clean. Miscalculated. Miscalculated. So it works out. If you can't draw the Asgard royal body at once. Then on Thor, completely wasted the chance to draw the ability 100% for the first time. I want to draw Thor's ability later. You have to find a way to keep feeding. Got it. At this point. Smoke it. Congratulations on obtaining the Asgard royal body. Special. Fang Bing was stunned. Thor, the Erha, has lived for 1,500 years anyway. There are more than 100 abilities on his body. I actually got the only unsealed Asgard royal body in a soul draw? This luck is too good. The Asgard royal body is very useful to him. It is different from the eternal drive of the Eternals. The Eternals are just bionic robots created by the Celestials. And the people of Asgard were naturally conceived. The well-deserved powerhouse in the universe. So after Fang Bing obtained the Asgard god body, there will be no side effects and hidden dangers. The body of the Asgard royal family that Thor possesses. It is even more rare. Only the direct bloodline of the Odin line can have it. What Fang Bing knows. A person who has this royal body. Only Odin and Thor, and still imprisoned by Odin. Thor's sister, the goddess Hela. This royal body is even more powerful. According to legend, before Odin unified the 9 realms, he has personally killed several gods of the celestial race. And Odin's eldest daughter, Hela, even if it has been imprisoned for thousands of years. Later, it can also crush Mjolnir directly when breaking out. After Fang Bing obtained the Asgard royal body, it was opened without any hesitation. Immediately, I felt a warm current rushing through my body. All aspects of the body are strengthened, no matter how strong his super physique was. They can live up to 100 or 200 years. Just look at Captain America later, although also has a super physique. But only a few decades, he has become a vicissitudes old man with gray hair all over his head. But now, Fang Bing already felt that the aging speed of his body had become extremely slow. Physical vitality is enhanced. He felt like he was doing nothing right now. You can live for thousands of years if you lie down and dawdle. Longevity, it's not the main ability of the body of the Asgard royal family that Fang Bing just obtained. The most important thing is that he can also become stronger quickly with time and training like Thor. Fang Bing knows, over time, his constitution and strength. Even the energy in the body, even if you don't practice, you will always become stronger. No wonder. Thor is still a hammer god. Without the hammer, even the power of Thor can't be used. But not long after, he can withstand the power of the entire planet's core without dying. He also slashed Thanos with an axe. It can be seen the potential of the Asgard royal body. Erha is amazing. Fang Bing couldn't help shouting in his heart. Sincere thanks Thor, contributed such an important ability for myself. Watching Thor licking his plate in the interrogation room, Fang Bing considered whether to give this great hero some more food. Poor baby. How much I have suffered in Asgard all these years. The hungry ones licked their plates. Dear big brother, you really disgraced the people of Asgard. A person appeared out of thin air in the interrogation room. It was Thor's brother, the #1 magician in the 9 realms. Loki, the god of trickery. Loki just showed up. Saw Thor licking his plate. I don't know whether to be happy or angry. Although Loki does not want Thor to return to Asgard and compete with himself for the throne. I don't want to embarrass the mighty Thor of Asgard in the mortal world. Ah, here you come, Loki. Is father still mad at me? I know that if I made a mistake, my divine power is gone, so take me to see my father and let me go back. All of Thor's abilities were sealed. It wasn't until Loki made a sound that he realized that his brother had also come to the mortal world. Hastily asked Loki to help him return to Asgard. But how could Loki let him go back? Thor was banished to the mortal world for attacking the giants of Jotunheim. It was he who instigated it. To sit on the throne of Asgard. Now in Asgard, Odin inexplicably fell into Odin's sleep and fell into a coma. Thor was deprived of his divine power again and was trapped in the mortal world. From Loki's point of view, this is a good chance for him to ascend the throne of Asgard. So Loki began to perform. Thor, wake up. Father is mad at you. I have been crowned the new king of Asgard. Before the father left, he said that in order to punish your recklessness, you will never be allowed to return to Asgard. In order for Thor to stay on the earth honestly, Loki not only lied to Thor that Odin was dead. Odin's edict was also forged. Sure enough, Loki expected. Thor was completely autistic when he heard the news. He thinks he killed Odin. Decided to stay on the earth for the rest of his life to atone for his sins. Fang Bing heard this in other rooms. I know I won't act anymore. Loki was leaving. That's right. He wants to try again today to see if he can get Loki's ability. Serve 2 plates for dessert. Fang Bing pretends to be S.H.I.E.L.D. agent again. Into the interrogation room. Interrogation room. Loki saw Fang Bing, who opened the door and entered. There was no reaction at all, because he now has an invisibility spell on himself. Mortals can't see him at all, but Fang Bing is obviously not an ordinary person. He also practiced meditation anyway, after going in. Loki was spotted immediately, but he still pretends that there is no one across from Thor. Set down those 2 plates of dessert in the middle of the table and left. As for why there are 2 discs, because he was afraid of only 1 disc will be eaten by Thor alone. Loki saw that Thor was offered food to Thor in the mortal world. I thought of a little comfort in my heart. In fact, all he had ever wanted was the throne of Asgard. And the favor of Father Odin. And for the big brother Thor who grew up together. There is also emotion. Now that Thor can't compete with him for the throne. He is also happy to see Big Brother live better in the mortal world. These mortals are very respectful to you, then I can feel relieved about your life on Earth. What kind of delicacy is this? Why has it never been seen in Asgard? Although Loki has lived for more than 1,000 years. But the same with Thor, never came to Earth. Didn't try food on Earth. It's the first time I smell food made by Fang Bing with a gourmet maker. Immediately a little over the top. Loki reaches for a plate of dessert. Try what kind of food can exude such an attractive aroma. But he miscalculated. Fang Bing also miscalculated. Thor, who just had coffee and a sandwich, seeing the person who brought him food before. 2 more plates of food were brought in, and the scent is still as enticing as before. With lightning speed, he pulled the 2 plates of desserts in front of him. Pick it up and stuff it in your mouth. Loki hesitates. He wanted to ask Thor to spare him some, but the pride in his heart prevented him from opening his mouth. Seeing how delicious Thor was eating, I couldn't help but start to salivate. Swallow quietly. Seeing that Thor was about to finish eating, Loki held back the inexplicable anger in his heart. He sneered lightly. What's so delicious about mortal food? Thor, how about your demeanor as the royal family of Asgard? Oh, by the way, you have no divine power now, no wonder it became like this. He had expected Thor to argue with him, but Thor ignored it. He continued cooking without raising his head like Erha. Haha. Cool. Delicious. Thor finally yelled contentedly after eating 2 plates of dessert. The residue on the bottom of the plate is also dipped with your fingers and eaten clean. Finally, he licked the bottom of the plate. He looked up at Loki. What were you talking about? I didn't hear. The food of the mortals of Midgard is really delicious. Maybe it would be nice to stay in Midgard. Loki was furious. But I don't know who to send it to. Do you want to kill this big brother who is grabbing food in front of you? He still can't do it. He could only disappear into the interrogation room depressed. Back to Asgard. Because Odin enters Odin's sleep. The eldest daughter Hela was imprisoned, the eldest son Thor was exiled. So he became the sole heir to the throne of Asgard. He has decided. Go back and crown yourself king. Then let these mortals of Midgard offer themselves 1,000 cooks. Fang Bing gritted his teeth angrily outside. I can't wait to go in and beat Thor up. He purposely brought in 2 plates, it's just that Thor will eat alone. But never expected. This guy actually did it. Both plates were eaten. You are a royal family of Asgard. Where is the royal temperament? Royal etiquette learned in vain. Odin didn't teach you. Do brothers have good things to share with each other? Who did you learn from this bad habit of eating alone? Ancient One? Seeing that Thor just contributed the Asgard royal body to himself. For Odin's sake too, Fang Bing decided to endure it. First spare the life of Thor, the Erha hammer god. As for Loki's ability extraction, we can only wait. Later Suritans invaded Earth, it's Loki's handwriting. He will still appear then. At that time, Fang Bing decided that if Loki didn't give himself face. Accept your own feeding honestly. Then don't blame yourself for poking it in with a stick. After Loki left. Not long after. The people Thor knew when he fell to Earth came to him. The person who came was Eric, a doctor of astronomy. It was he and his 2 female assistants who picked up Thor before. Take Thor to the hospital. also established a certain friendship with Thor. This time, I came to the temporary base built by S.H.I.E.L.D. just to save Thor. The three of them have heard Thor say that they are Thor from the nether of Asgard. Need to get my hammer back in order to restore divine power. So I thought Thor was impounded by S.H.I.E.L.D. for stealing the hammer. Dr. Eric came to rescue Thor. S.H.I.E.L.D. people. Because there is no way to see Loki coming. I didn't want to embarrass the Thor in Fang Bing's mouth, the mentally ill vagabond in their eyes. Just let Thor out. Let Dr. Eric take it. As for Fang Bing, watching all this from the sidelines. There is no plan to intervene at all, but he's already planning what's next. According to his memory, just tomorrow, friends of Thor in Asgard, the 4 warriors of Asgard, will go down to find Thor. The destroyer will also come to Earth, but that's for tomorrow. Now Fang Bing has one more important thing to do. That is to hurry home and comfort Sky. Baby Sky has called him several times. Outcry about him leaving alone without saying a word. Fang Bing opened the portal. Send it home directly. Before he drove a Quinjet to New Mexico, it's because he's never been there before. The portal cannot be opened there. It used to be faster to drive a Quinjet. Now after he's been there, you can send it back and forth directly. Quinjet fighters could just stay there too. The next time I go to another strange place, just open the door and teleport into Quinjet. Fang Bing just walked out of the portal. A fragrant and soft girl threw herself into his arms. Fang Bing, you big liar, you said before that you wouldn't leave me alone. Sky said angrily. She looked like an abandoned little daughter-in-law. Fang Bing touched her head helplessly. I didn't just leave for less than a day. When did Sky become so clingy? Besides, when did you say that again? Woman, so troublesome. The next day, 4 of Thor's best friends in Asgard, the 4 warriors of Asgard, for discovering that Loki has usurped the throne, come to Midgard to find Thor. They prepare to take Thor back to Asgard. Set things right. Remove Loki from the throne. Heimdall, who guards Bifrost, is also dissatisfied with Loki's usurpation of the throne. Release the 4 warriors of Asgard from the lower realm. The 4 soon found Thor in the small town. Thor, I need you to go back with us and stop Loki from usurping the throne. After several people embraced warmly, Sif, the warrior of Asgard, said to Thor when he met him. Forget it. My father passed the throne to him before he died, and I don't want to fight with him anymore. Thor was happy to see his friends. After hearing Sif's words, I fell down again. What? But your father is not dead. Thor hears news from the 4 warriors of Asgard. Only then did he realize that Loki had lied to him. At the same time, Loki has sat on the throne of Asgard. Discovered that the 4 warriors of Asgard secretly descended to find Thor. Furious. Obviously I'm already the king of Asgard. Why are you still looking for that idiot Thor? Damn you all. A furious Loki. Use the ice giant artifact Winter's Locket from Odin's vault. Freeze the Bifrost guard Heimdall. Pick up the Odin scepter again. The destroyer guarding the vault has been found. In the name of Odin, command the destroyer to Midgard. To kill the only Thor who can compete with himself for the throne. And those traitors, the destroyer is an artifact. It is the magic armor that once accompanied Odin to conquer the universe. Not only is it made of extremely rare cosmic metals, Odin was endowed with divine power by Odin, so it doesn't even get bounded by Bifrost. After a while, the destroyer has come to Earth. Its arrival caused drastic changes in the weather. Dark clouds blotted out the sky, as if the world is about to be destroyed. This side of the town. Now it's S.H.I.E.L.D. Level 8 Agent Phil Coulson in charge. And S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Nick Fury. After seeing Thor act like an idiot yesterday when he couldn't pull out his hammer. Just left. After all, he is a busy man. It is impossible to spend time on one thing. And Phil Coulson is a very cautious guy. After he discovered the vision that suddenly appeared in the sky. The people from S.H.I.E.L.D. were not allowed to rush up to investigate. But when the vision just appeared, immediately make an order. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent hurriedly evacuated the ordinary people nearby. And at the moment, the movement of the destroyer Nether has also been discovered by Thor and the 4 warriors of Asgard. They have come to the front of the town, waiting to meet the oncoming destroyer. Definitely. Fang Bing also came. This time he took Sky with him. Because Fang Bing knows the follow-up plot development. Also know that Loki has returned to Asgard. Without Loki, who is proficient in illusion. He also likes to play tricks on people's hearts and stabs them in the back. Fang Bing didn't have any scruples. Take her under Sky's begging. Meet Thor versus the Destroyer. Give her a long look. Definitely just looking at it. He had no intention of making a move at all. I also feel that I have no reason to make a move. He has only one purpose in coming here from beginning to end. That is to acquire ability to improve strength. Although there was no success feeding Loki yesterday. But aren't there still 4 warriors of Asgard? Just far away from Fang Bing and Sky Station. Waiting to see the good show of Thor versus Destroyer. Suddenly a person rushed into the sky. To the Destroyer. The person who rushed forward rashly. It was Iron Man wearing the Mark armor. I saw the Destroyer approaching the town step by step. He didn't know who the target of the Destroyer was. Not as familiar with subsequent developments as Fang Bing. He considers himself a superhero. Where can I bear it? Just rushed straight up. Want to kill this huge amounts of mecha monster. This scene was beyond Fang Bing's expectation. Because the original development. Iron Man for not coming to New Mexico City. No match for the Destroyer. Grass. Fang Bing cursed secretly. He found that the longer he stayed in this world. What happened in this world has nothing to do with him. The memory is getting worse and farther away. Go on like this. His advantage of being familiar with the plot and predicting the future is about to disappear. In case Iron Man kills the Destroyer, wouldn't Thor continue to be sealed? In case the Destroyer takes out Iron Man, then you should move. Because without Iron Man, New York would be nuked. After everything is messed up. At that time, Fang Bing could no longer know where it was safe. In case Thanos goes crazy in the future. I feel that it is not enough to kill half of the people for family planning in the universe. What if you snap your fingers twice and kill all the people in the universe? Never mind. Take one step at a time. The most important thing is to raise the strength first. If you can reach the level of Odin, and who can snap his fingers and kill him? Far away in Asgard. Loki remotely controlling the Destroyer. Watching a person fly towards the Destroyer. I was startled at first. Thought it was his big brother Thor who suddenly regained his divine power. Take a closer look. Only to find that it was just a flying metal man. Suddenly feel disdainful. The technology of the Earth people is much worse than that of Asgard. He didn't think of this overbearing metal man at all. What threat can it pose to the Destroyer? But Loki is the prince of Asgard. As the god of tricks in the mouth of the 9 realms. How can he tolerate an ordinary Earth person provoking him? Zilla. Loki thought for a moment. The Destroyer on Earth was instantly filled with flames. A magic ray shot from its eye. Hit the Iron Man who was still flying toward it in midair. Fine. Iron Man noticed the change in the Destroyer's eyes ahead of time. He narrowly escaped the blow. Then I didn't even bother to get any closer. All the firepower was poured directly towards the Destroyer. What homing missiles, cannons, energy beams, used it in seconds. Unfortunately, except for the homing missile that knocked the Destroyer a little. Other Earth weapons carried by the Mark armor. The Destroyer wasn't hurt at all, but Iron Man's attack. It annoyed Loki even more. Then, the Destroyer started shooting magic rays from both eyes. Let's go together. Iron Man quickly hid in the air. But the speed of magic rays is extremely fast. How could it be possible to escape completely? After a few seconds, Iron Man was hit by one of the magic rays. Falling far from the sky, lost combat ability. And if it weren't for the latest Mark armor he was wearing, mixed with vibranium that just got from Chief Bald, one hit and he's finished. Loki sees a hit. I don't feel that Metal Man at all can survive the Destroyer hit. Then, he controls the Destroyer. Continue walking towards town step by step. See this. Instead, Fang Bing became happy. That means things are back on track. He can continue to implement the original plan big.